Hello, everyone. Welcome to Rock Talk Happy Hour. My name is Mario, here with Kimberly and Britt. This is a podcast about craft beer and music, where every episode we try different craft beers, we rate them, discuss them, and sometimes we learn a little bit about them, all while talking music-related topics. Today's a little different, though. Today we have a special guest from Martin House Brewing Company in Fort Worth, Texas. We have Marcos Montes.
How's it going?
Hey, what's going on, man? Are you doing all right?
Oh, yeah, doing great. Thanks. Glad to be here. Glad to be on.
Hey, thank you for making the time in your evening to come out and hang out with us. So I know we met, what was it, like a month ago?
Yeah.
So we are kind of big fans of Martin House. We talk about you guys like pretty much every episode. We even designated a little segment called Martin House Minute.
I was like, I don't remember which one you picked.
Yeah, Martin House Minute. Martin House Minute, because we have a Martin House beer like pretty much every episode.
I gotcha.
At least one or two. So Britt's usually with us in person, but she's hanging out with us remotely with our friend Lydia as well. So you'll hear Britt sound a little different than we do. Yeah.
No
All right. So I guess this episode is going to be a little different. Usually we have a music-related topic, and this episode we don't, because we're going to have a full-blown beer-related topic. We're going to be talking about Martin House Brewery, and we're going to be just picking Marcos and see what kind of information we can get from him about all the crazy beers that we've had, and just see what we can learn about the brewery, because we're super excited and curious about what goes on over there. All right, so before we go into it, I guess we usually start off with a segment called What Are We Drinking? And since we're not drinking anything right now, Kim and I aren't. He is.
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
So I'm drinking our Parker County.
Lydia and I are.
Whoa. Oh, Britt said her and Lydia are. Okay, Marcos is going to tell us what he's drinking first.
Yeah, so I got my Parker County Peach. It's a year-round. It's not a year-round, scratch that. It's a micro-seasonal that we've done now. I believe this is a fourth year consecutive. It's one of the all-time favorites for the brewery. Crowd favorite, so it's easy drinking, especially with the hot weather out right now. Light, crisp, refreshing, a little bit of peach in there. So can't really go wrong with that right now.
Yeah, no, that's good. And actually, that kind of answers one of our questions that we had, but we'll get to it later. Mm-hmm. Britt, Lydia, what are y'all drinking?
We are drinking. What are we drinking, Lydia? Oh my God, almond. We're drinking almond flavored champagne.
Almond flavored champagne.
Nice.
Okay.
Almond flavored sparkling wine.
Oh, sparkling wine. Okay.
Almond shake vineyard.
Okay. All right.
I mean, that sounds good.
Is it good? Like, what do you rate it?
Oh yeah, it's my favorite.
Okay, it sounds like it from here.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like it from here. It sounds like it's your favorite from here.
It is. You just don't even know.
All right. Well, next time you can be on the show in person with us, and we'll try it in person.
We'll try it.
There you go.
Oh, there you go. Well, thank you very much.
All righty.
I accept the invitation.
All right. So
With bells on.
Marcos is having that Parker County Peach. We've had it before on the show. I don't remember what we rated it because it's been a while, but I know there's like two different versions of that beer, right?
Yeah, so we in the past 2 years we did a regular ale version, so just like a peach ale, and then we did a sour version. So this year we just did the regular version, so no sour this year. So yeah, if you've had it before, you've had it again. Pretty much the same exact recipe as last year, just this year's edition of it.
Cool.
But I feel like we probably had the sour.
Yeah, we've had the sour as well. Yeah, we've had both. Yeah.
I still secretly have like a case of the sour from like last year. I still have it in my garage. I still crack it open every now and then.
Oh, cool. All right. Yeah, there's beers that we wish we had stashes of, and we're like, damn, they're gone. So Marcos brought some beer with him from that are from the Martin House Brewery that are taproom exclusives, which are cool because I mean we haven't been to the taproom in almost a year. We need to go back. But we're gonna try the first beer that he brought us. Kim, would you describe
this
the
is
beer?
the Martin House Afternoon Siesta. It's their Mexican lager with lime, 5% ABV. And, of course, Martin House Brewery, Fort Worth, Texas.
And no lactose, right?
No lactose.
No lactose.
Just kidding. we always have this thing where we're like, damn, does this one have lactose in it? Yeah.
See, y'all make that joke, but one of these days we're going to make an all-lactose beer, and then you're going to deal with it.
No, I know that's going to happen, especially if someone that's in charge of the brewing hears this, they're going to do that.
100%.
And we'll actually get into that as well, too. I'm curious about that. All right, so we're going to try that. The can's are really cool. It's like one of those Mexican...
Serapes?
Yep.
That's what it is. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to give it a try.
I poured my crap.
Mexican lager with lime.
Okay.
See?
Okay.
See?
Yes.
Couldn't.
No, this is good.
This is really good.
This one has more lime flavor that some of the other ones usually
say they'd have kind of like lack, or it's very artificial.
There you go. They lack it. Yeah.
We were talking about that plastic bottle, squeeze bottle lime off air, but that's 100% what I usually don't like about it.
Yeah.
So I brought this one, like I said earlier, because I saw the rating for the Shiner one.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, we make a Mexican lager too. We myself along with the taproom manager, we joked that he was like, yeah, of course, beer flavored beer would sell. Like, who would have thought?
Yeah. No, I mean it's good. I give it a 5.
I give it a 5.
And like I said, we try quite a bit of different Mexican style lagers from different breweries. But no, this one's really good. I bet Dressed. Oh, yeah. This one would be really good too.
No, if I was on the beach, if I was at the pool.
Yeah, no, I like it. Brett, sorry you're missing out.
I know.
I'm sorry, y'all have to save me one.
There's only one and it's open, so I'll put some foil on it and see how long it lasts.
That's the last thing we can. I'll put it this way, Brett. If I have my way, there's another version on the way. Okay.
Oh, okay. There we go. So I guess we can talk about this one for a little bit because it's a taproom exclusive. Mm-hmm. So how do you know how it's like figured out, like which ones are going to be taproom exclusives and which ones aren't?
So a little bit about that. There's definitely a lot of ideas. If you've had some of our stuff, you've kind of seen that we've done maybe similar versions. Like we have our pie series, our cherry cobbler, blueberry muffin, blackberry cobbler, things like that. They're similar styling with just a different fruit flavor. So whenever we have something as an idea or a concept at the brewery, we'll put it out. Usually in the tap room, people will try it there, and then maybe 6 months, year later, then you might see it in production, and you might see it in cans at the brewery, or you see it for actual distribution. So that's kind of the trend with it. I've been with the company just over a year and a half, and that's kind of the trend that I've seen is that we kind of test it at the brewery first, and then we release it. But I would say we very much take the concept of there's not a terrible idea, and just make it and see what happens.
We had the pizza beer.
Yeah, we had the pizza.
hey, but hold on. But it tasted like pizza.
It
did taste like pizza, yeah.
It also tasted like other bad experiences with
So that was another thing, too. She had a bad experience with pizza and alcohol, so that kind of affected her judgment on that beer. 100%. But, I also, too, before we get into more, too, I did a horrible job of introducing you. Like, what I was going to ask was, and you briefly said some of this earlier, I was going to say, what's your role and your title at Martin House, and how long have you been there?
So my role is market lead for San Antonio, basically I'm a glorified sales rep. So I do all of the sales for the company down here for one territory, and I do have a counterpart, Tony. He handles basically west of 281, outside 410. I handle inside 410, east of 281, and then up into San Marcos. So New Braunfels, Cibolo, Shirts, Spring Branch, all that. So basically anytime you see a display or something, that's usually me trying to get that display. If you see us on tap at a bar, it's usually me that's trying to get it sold into it. I kind of look at it more as customer relations and customer expansion is kind of what it is, but just a market rep, the brand ambassador type of thing.
No, that's cool. And I know you do the events here in town, but
correct.
How often do you go up there to Martin House and do events with them up there?
So they'll do reach outs for big events that are going on. So like I was up there for the 9th anniversary just not too long ago. I was up there for Pickle Fest last year. Last year I was on for like every other month. I was at the brewery helping out. It just depends on how big the event is, really.
Okay.
So like the one that's coming up is Glizzy Fest. So Glizzy Fest. They sent a shout out, say, hey, if you can come help. So I'm going to be on vacation in the area. So I might go by to hang out for a little while and help out. But it's kind of just, there's 5 of us that are outside of Fort Worth that handle the company. So 2 of us here in San Antonio, 2 in Houston, and then 1 in Austin. So they send out kind of that bat signal, if you will, to say, hey, come in and help.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. Well, speaking of Glizzy Fest, there's, for those people outside of Texas or even outside the States, can you explain what's going to happen at Glizzy Fest?
So Glizzy Fest so we just started, I can't say we just did, but we took one dip into the seltzer pool last year with our Cherry Baby Seltzer. And then this year we released our Awesome Sauce, which is a variety pack sour seltzer. Put that out there. And then because we are Martin House and we like to do things a little bit weird, we decided to make a hot dog seltzer. So Glizzy Fest is kind of an ode to the Great American Hot Dog, along with a hot dog flavored seltzer, hot dog water flavored seltzer. We're brewing in a very small batch. I believe it's only 420 cans or 420 cases that we're making. So very limited, but it's a Martin House party. You just kind of come out, enjoy some hot dogs.
We've yet to go to one.
Oh, you guys got to come up.
So we were just trying to find the.
It's a frat party. It is the weirdest combination of people you'll ever see hanging out for one exact concept and idea. So you'll see people in suits. You'll see bikers, both the pedal bikes and the actual like biker gang, whatnot.
Oh, dang.
Coming out and just hanging out and just enjoying a beer. So you definitely guys got to make the trip.
That's cool. So like when y'all come up with, when whoever comes up with these ideas, is it like one of these things where like everyone in the brewery has a say in it, or it's like, oh yeah, you should definitely do that, or is it just like down to the brewers themselves that are like, hey, let's do this?
So there's actually, I guess a little bit of everything. So there's definitely an idea and a concept that's kind of thrown out there. Some of like the calendar, again, if you've been a Martin House fan, you've seen some stuff make its return. Parker County Peach came back. Lemon Icebox came back this year. Spicy Pickle. Yeah, so we have a few that kind of return. So some of them are just kind of tried and true. We know what they're going to do, so we just bring them back the next year. But as far as like what it is, the brewers, marketing, sometimes like for instance, one of the ones that we have here is actually one of our salespeople won a contest to make their own beer. So that's one that we brought.
Shit. Damn, we should answer.
Yeah, so they made their own beer. So it just kind of comes from everything. I mean, I would say the easier way is just like there's there's not a bad idea. Let's just give it a go and see what happens.
Yeah, no, we see that. So I've been asking a lot of the questions. Kim, Britt, do y'all have any questions? I mean, I have more still, but I want to let y'all jump in because I feel like I've been hogging the mic.
Yeah, I had a few. Is there like a history that you know of behind why they got into odd sour beers or odd beers in general?
So I have limited history knowledge of it, but I mean I can provide what at least I know or I've seen. So the brewery started out with just basically four core beers back in the day. So we were established 2012. So we're now going 9 years with with brewing. Sours were something that were started, I believe, year 2 or year 1 at the end of year 1.
Oh, damn, that's early.
Yeah, which was Salty Lady. So Salty Lady is our base sour beer. So she's been the one that's been around the longest. It kind of started with that, and then it just kind of spiraled from there. So I think up until 2016, 2017, around that time is when it started to be just kind of a more continuous release of beers. Yeah. And then I know for sure by 2019 going into 2020, it became an every week a new beer, and that just kind of became the trend. And I mean, from my experience with the industry, I mean, we're one of the only companies that do something like that, especially here in Texas for one every week, let alone one every week for distribution.
Yeah. Do you know what the 4 core beers were?
Oh, you would ask me that.
No, if you don't know,
you looked me in the eye and you asked me.
That's right.
No, it's
we were wondering if there was like
in the car,
beer
literally.
that's like all the time they make it constantly.
So
like,
the closest one,
Salty Lady? Is that
so Salty Lady would be Salty Lady and Texan. So our Imperial Texan is actually one of our core ones.
That's the one we have in the fridge and we've never had before.
Oh yeah, so if you like IPAs, it's a good double red. It's a little bit malty, a little bit bitter, a little bit hoppy. It's a little bit of everything. I mean, great beer. But yeah, was it River House, Imperial Texan? And then there was, I believe Daybreak was one of the original ones, and there was a different one. So there was 4 of the core ones that had first started out. Some of them have kind of come and gone. They've also made a few returns during events or special releases. They'll bring it back the original 4. And actually, I think that's in, if it's not September, it's October that we did it last year. And I think we're planning to do it again, where we'll bring back the original 4 at the tap room just for a limited time. So people can kind of go back and reminisce for it.
On maybe going.
Oh, shit. Okay, we'll probably be there when that happens then.
Yeah, hopefully.
Check the calendar, be on the lookout for it. But yeah, Texan for sure is one of the original ones. And then Salty Lady is the original sour, but it's not one of the original 4.
Okay.
What is your favorite type of beer?
Oh,
so these are the questions I have are like a get to know more.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
What's your favorite type of beer?
So see, I sit on 2 ends of the spectrum, which is funny. So I sit on like, give me a good sour, and then give me a big boozy stout, which are just 2 complete opposite ends.
Yeah, that is opposite.
Yeah. So sours, there's definitely like I wouldn't say like a time for sours for me. I can pretty much have a sour anytime. But there's definitely like that once it starts getting cold nights, barbecues, campfires, like give me a good stout, and I'm set with it. But when it comes to sour, I want like as much of like the fruit that I can get in it. Yeah. Or if it comes to stout, like give me the most like chocolatey, boozy, barrel aged, like you can give me a 20.
Cigars,
yeah. 100%. I used to be a big bourbon and whiskey guy, so big boozy stouts are my go-to for that.
All right.
Okay.
Do you have a favorite flavor profile? Like if you like, if we prefer like fruit, if it's like peach, like you're drinking the peach now, or do you prefer like?
So ironically enough, I don't like peach typically, but I like ours. So as far as fruit profile,
or any flavor, like, is there one that just like you're gonna grab it every time? If I had an ice chest full of beers, sours through stouts, what flavor is Marcos like?
See, that's a tricky one because it depends on the situation. So when it comes to like fruit, like if we were to just like draw a hard line at fruit, then I would say like watermelon and cucumber are like two, like can't go wrong with them. And there's like two of them out there that have been like my favorites for like the go-to with it. But then when it comes to like stouts, there used to be, it was a company in New York that used to make it, and they used to make a white chocolate raspberry stout.
That sounds crazy.
Yeah, and it was, if you've ever had, like, when Valentine's comes around, they have those variety chocolates. I think it's like Russell Stover's that does a white chocolate with the raspberry inside of it. Okay. It tastes like that liquefied.
Okay.
All right.
So raspberry chocolate, but Thin Mint. Thin Mint is like, when it comes to stout, which is why, like, my favorite beer, like, Thin Mint is, I love the Girl Scout cookies. I love mint. Like growing up, we had, whenever I could get Starbucks, they always had like a mint mocha, and that was like my go-to. So mint chocolate is my stuff when it comes to a stout.
So then that brings me to what's your favorite Martin House? And we can actually try it because he brought it for us.
So my favorite Martin House. So when I discovered Martin House was about mid 2020. So I went into a local liquor store looking for a sour, a different brand, different style. The guy behind the counter was like, "Oh man, if you like sours, you got to try Martin House." And I'll be honest, I'd never heard of it at that point in time. But he showed me the cans, and I was like, I've seen the cans, I've just never bought it. So he was like, well, here, give it a go. So I tried. I was like, all right, cool. And then he told me they do one every week and all that. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'm interested. Like, I'm a buyer. I like trying different stuff. So I went back every week. And then the guy and I, so shout out to Chris at LOL Liquors, because he's the guy that got me into it. But he was like, if you like stouts, they do good stouts. And I was like, man, I'm a sucker for a stout. Like, like what do they got? And he was like, man, he goes, they have this mint chocolate chip barrel-aged stout. And I said, I'm in. Where's it at? So I went. He had sold through it. I picked it up. So it was called Cookie Monster back then. We renamed it. Now it's called Last Girl Stout. So it's a barrel-aged thin mint stout. And it's like my all-time favorite.
I'm actually going to grab it.
All right. So we're going to grab it. We're going to try it out.
Oh, man. You're in for a treat.
So while Kim gets that, Britt, do you have any questions?
Yeah, definitely.
What you got?
I first found out about Martin House 7 years ago because of your arrangement with the Toadies.
Okay.
And I was just curious kind of if you knew anything about how that relationship came about.
So I don't know a ton of it. I know at one point in time we actually had, I don't know that I would call it a line of beers, but we had one that was Possum King, which was one of their songs, I believe, or something. And then Boxlider is kind of named after Backslider. So there was a collaboration. Yeah. I know early on with the brewery existence, they used to actually do like live concerts at the brewery. So they would show up and do stuff there. So I know that existed with it. I've never met them or anything like that. So I don't think there's much of an existing ongoing one. We obviously still have, Toadies on our box. But, I mean, I think there's a connection there. Some of the owners are based out of, Dallas, Fort Worth. So I would assume it had something to do with that, but I don't have a definitive answer, unfortunately, for you.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think there are two more that y'all had, which was the Hell Below and Stars Above.
Yes, there you go.
That's the one.
Yeah.
So see, you knew about it.
Yeah, for sure. And I was just curious if there were any other relationships that the brewery had with other bands, like other local bands up there.
No, not to my knowledge. We had Creed, a Creed cover band, come up for Creed Fest last year.
Yes.
Yeah. We've had a few other ones that come around that I just kind of have, I guess, standing relationships. I mean, a lot of the people at the brewery are, Fort Worth, Dallas based, so they have a lot of local connections. So I'm sure a lot of it stems from that. Yeah. We're myself along with my other out of town counterparts, we're kind of the satellites for the company. We know a little bit about it, but we all joined relatively recently within the last 3 years. So we don't,
Okay.
we weren't in Fort Worth to expand out. We were already out of Fort Worth and just kind of handle our markets. But, I mean, they definitely have different relationships up there. That's kind of how the Best Made relationship happened for our Best Made pickle. The Melted, ice cream shop with our Melted series, Parker County Peach. There's a Parker County Peach Festival. So a lot of different kind of relationships that they built over the years that I think have just kind of continued to roll together and just, be prosperous for everybody.
Yeah, no, that's cool with all the local collaborations and stuff.
Speaking of Creed Fest, do you happen to know how this came about? Why Creed?
Yeah, because I think we've seen it for like the past 2
I know,
years.
we were like,
we're
what
gonna
is
go.
this? Like, why?
I think the better question is why not Creed?
Well, yeah, I guess. No, I guess. I mean, I guess if y'all approach it how y'all approach the beers is why not? Then yeah, it makes sense.
Right.
Yeah, it's more of a kind of why not. There's a lot of those things that honestly, like I kind of I jumped into it and I'm an observer by nature.
Yeah.
So like seeing some of these things, like I had some of the similar questions, but I also didn't want to be that guy asking questions about everything. So I just kind of like watch people.
Oh, I would have been the guy asking questions. I would have been like, look, I kind of want to know what's going on.
No, see, there was a lot more questions to ask. So like you say that now from the outside looking in, but you get into Pee Wee's Funhouse over there and it's a whole different level of questions you got.
True. That's true. All right. So, Kim's got the beer out. You want to explain that beer real quick?
Martin House, the last Girl Scout, whiskey barrel aged thin mint stout, 12% alcohol by volume. It says this imperial stout is brewed with peppermint, chocolate, vanilla, brown sugar, and lactose, aged 3 to 5 months in whiskey barrels with cacao nibs.
All right.
And this one was brewed last year.
All right. So Kim and I, of course, never had this before, so we're gonna give it a try.
Very mint. It smells like those mints you get from freaking Olive Garden that I hate.
Mm-hmm. The Andes mints. Do you not like thin mints?
No.
I like them.
The cookies, yes. Those candies, I don't know. I just don't like those.
But it's like
candies.
Is it too much mint or too much dark chocolate?
I think it's the mint.
Okay.
That's weird because I like thin mints and stuff.
Yeah.
And
I like the cookies.
Junior mints and stuff.
But those candies, I don't like them.
It tastes exactly like that. I know Britt's not here. Kim doesn't like
No.
this stuff. This tastes exactly.
It does.
It's like a liquefied. I know why you like it because we're not a fan of stouts.
Yeah.
And I tried to get into them, but no, this one is good.
Yeah.
But I think also the mint overpowers everything that you don't like about stouts.
I don't think it cuts it down a little bit. Yeah.
So see, and that's even a discussion into like the beer style. So like certain stouts, a lot of them, depending if they're coffee based or chocolate based, is where you'll get the difference in it. So if they're coffee based, they're more bitter. So this one, like how y'all made the joke about the lactose, it has a little bit of that lactose to sweeten it. So it takes away a little bit of that bite of the coffee and the chocolate you get in there. So it gives like just smooth. I mean, it's
it's smooth and dude, I'm gonna give this a 5.
It's good.
Okay, I'm curious to see what Kim would give it.
Yeah.
Like pretend she's not rating it.
Hey, you're not gonna offend me. I didn't make it. It's my favorite. It's not for everybody, but that is.
I'm gonna give it a good 4.
4, okay, 4 out of 5. All
and
right.
that's because it tastes like what it's supposed to
Yeah.
taste like,
Yeah.
and because that mint does kind of cut out like the cigarette-y.
Well, also too, I think it's like what he was saying. It's
stout.
probably more the coffee-based stouts
Yeah.
because the chocolate.
This one's more chocolate.
Yeah, there's chocolate.
So I guess if I had to pick a chocolate stout or coffee stout, I'd probably go chocolate then.
Britt, Lydia, I know y'all aren't here, but this tastes really good, right? It's barrel aged and it's 12% ABV.
For
12%
for the little
crazy.
can.
12% for a 12-ounce can. Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna have to line up a couple shooters because this is.
All right.
I'm not wasting this one.
No, this is.
No, and you can hold on to that.
Hold
if you
on
want.
to it. It's all yours.
Lydia, do you have any questions for Marcos?
Yeah.
What do you got?
As soon as I heard lactose, I'm like, how does that make its way into beer?
Oh, okay. So this is.
It's a technical question, so I want to hear about the recipe.
Okay, so here's a fun one because I deal with this on a weekly basis when it comes to it. Okay, so whenever people think of lactose, they immediately go to dairy, right? Mm-hmm. And it's not dairy; it's the enzyme. So people who actually have like lactose intolerance, so they're intolerant to the actual enzyme of lactose, not the dairy in and of itself. Mm-hmm. So the enzyme is kind of like when you have like the high fructose corn syrup and all that kind of stuff. It's basically just an additive that we add to it to sweeten it. Okay. So the lactose acts as a sweetener So if you are lactose intolerant, it will mess with you. It'll do all its normal stuff that dairy would, but it's not actual dairy. So this one being a chocolate stout, it will have some dairy in it because of that, but it's not an additive. So like whenever we have our other sours, it's, you know, we didn't just sit there and throw a gallon of milk in it. It's just the additive of the enzyme to make it sweeter. So so when it comes to our sours, like if you ever have, like the perfect example is like we used to have our sweet and sour series. So we had like a sweet cherry and a sour cherry. We had a sweet apple and a sour apple.
So we've had the apple ones,
So the sour one didn't have lactose and the sweet one did. So that was the big difference, and that's why you could taste the difference in it. That's why one had like that kind of sharp, I call it candy-like sour. If you ever had like I always think of the tubes as a kid growing up. If you squeeze the sour, it's like that sour squeeze. Whereas if you had like, you know, powdered sour, it tasted different. Same kind of concept. Like you're just having the enzyme of it that sweetens it up. So the lactose is just to make it as a sweetener, not so much as a dairy additive. That helps you a little bit on that.
That explains a lot.
Okay, so how does citrus factor in?
In terms of which citrus?
Any citrus, because I'm enthralled that the lactose works the way it does. So I thought I'd ask about citrus.
Yeah, so citrus goes into a lot of, well, I can't say a lot. It goes into quite a bit of the different sours that we do. There's when you break down beer into just like the different styles and whatnot, there's actually like I think it's like 7 different quote unquote versions of sour. The more common one is Gosa, which is more of it's actually the oldest style of brewing and beer. It was literally like 1500s, and it's more. Go ahead.
I want to interrupt you for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're looking at the spectrum of sour, could you go from the most intense to the least intense? Because I need a frame of reference.
So if you were to go like a traditional, you would have like maybe like some farmhouse sours, or like I'm trying to think of one like that you would see in the market. Have you had sours personally?
Yes.
Okay, so like Victory does one that's a cherry kirsch. Have you ever had that one?
No, I haven't, but it sounds nice.
Okay, so it's like if you ever got like a sour cherry snow cone, it is like drinking the syrup of that cherry snow cone. Like it is super tart. It is super cherry. It is like lock your jaw sour. It's delicious.
I'm gonna go shopping now.
Yeah, it's really good, but it's definitely one of those where you can only drink 1 or 2 of them just because of the sourness and the tartness. And then you have Ghosts.
Only you can drink 1 or 2.
Oh, yeah, you'd be surprised. See, it's funny because for me, I used to be like the more sour the better, and then as I drink more and more sours, I'm like, okay, there is a limit.
There is a limit.
Yeah, there is a limit with it. So yeah, when it comes to like Gozas, which is a lot of kind of what we do, they tend to err more on the side of like salty sour. So it's like if you have like a Dos Equis and you dress it, it has that. Or think of like a margarita. Like if you have just like a straight like a whiskey sour or a tequila sour, it's more of like that sharp sour taste. But if you have it in a margarita, they add the simple syrup, they add the sugar, they add the fruit, and it's a lot more tolerable. So that's kind of like what you're dealing with. So when you look at it, if something says a sour on it, it'll typically have like a style. So it'll say like Gosa, which is Gose, which is again more salt sour, and then you have some that are just more like traditional sour, which
is like the salty lady. The salty lady is going to be like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where do those wind up on the spectrum of salty to least salty?
So like a Gosa,
they're putting you on the spot here, man.
I know they are, which is fine. Now you're really digging into my knowledge here. So Gosas, I would say, are probably like they're mid-range to lower range on the sour scale because they're more salt and lime, if that makes sense. And then you would have like your lambics, like Framboise does it. They do like the peach, the raspberry, the apple. I think they even do like a watermelon and a pear. So they do different ones. So those are more like light sour. They're like 3.5% alcohol, like super light and super easy in terms of like alcohol content. So those would be like your lighter style. And those are kind of like just outside your entry level of like a fruit ale into a sour. So it just kind of varies. Most of what you see in the market is going to be just like a traditional sour, and then you'll see maybe like a farmhouse. Like I think like Jester King, it would be an example of like they do some of the farmhouse. Theirs are more like sour fruit than sour beer, if that makes sense. And so like that's more of like your farmhouse sour, your farmhouse ale, or whatever classification with it. It gets very convoluted sometimes with the different, the I call it the pinwheel of flavor, because there's something like 94 different flavors or styles out there of beer when you start from ale to whatever.
Yeah.
But sours, you'll see two common ones, which is traditional sour and then just like a Gosa.
Speaking of sours, we mentioned earlier that that Martin House has collaborated with Best Made, and you guys have the sour pickle beer line.
Yep.
And so when Kim and I went up there, y'all had the blue raspberry sour pickle, and we loved that one. And we told Britt about it, and we're like, damn, we wish we could have brought some for you, but we couldn't. So I don't know who posted it, but I saw on y'all's Instagram that there was a post of like a blue Crayola, and it said blue raspberry sour pickle beer. And we're like, I was like, is that a clue that possibly it's coming back?
Spoiler alerts if he knows anything.
I mean, do you want me to hold it back or not?
Nah,
you don't have to. I don't want you to get in trouble. That's how.
I mean, if
not that anybody really listens.
you can say whatever you think you can say. Yeah, whatever you
so,
can.
So I will say this: blue raspberry pickle will be making its debut this year. So be on the lookout.
So, like for distribution?
Yes,
or,
distribution.
Holy crap! Hold on. We just stopped the show right here.
So we went in October, and it was out.
Yeah.
And we tried it, and man, we drank so much of that stuff.
Yeah.
And then we were like, it's a tap room. Can we get stuff to go? Because we want to bring it home. They're like, no, we don't do that.
Yeah.
And so we were like, damn it.
Yeah, because we're like, we have to try.
Yeah.
And so,
and that one was funny because that happened to be, we were supposed to get more cans of it for Pickle Fest, and something happened on the back end where we ended up with like double the amount of kegs that we expected. So that's the only reason why we still had kegs at that time frame.
Oh, shit. Okay. No, yeah.
That's like the best pickle beer, hands down.
So would you happen to have like if you had one, like a time frame on when that would possibly come out?
See, now you're digging too much.
Yeah,
I know, you're good.
Hey, we got it good enough.
I would.
You can say next question if you.
I would say sooner rather than later.
Okay,
so
cool.
Yeah, I would say before Christmas you'll see it.
Okay, well there you go, Brett, because we want you to taste this damn beer. It was like,
for sure.
And I was trying not to spam like y'all's Instagram because every time y'all post something about the sour pickle beer, I'm like, I'm gonna post it on purpose because I want them to see how much we like that blue raspberry.
And that's funny because people like you, I think that's how I actually found you guys. I saw y'all post something or tag San Antonio. Yeah. And I chime in. So, I mean, our marketing team handles it from Fort Worth, but, if people are, they tag Martin House and they tag San Antonio, I try to be on the lookout for it. And I try to reach out to those people and just, comment and say, hey, like, it's only two of us here, but like I'm here if you need something. Like I have no problem, looking for it or finding it for you. So
we appreciate.
We appreciate that.
We really do.
All right, so we're gonna try another beer. This is one that Kim and I found.
You've probably had this.
Yeah, you probably had it at the grocery stores, but Kim and I have not had it.
I didn't know what you wanted me to get.
We got all the taproom stuff.
That's true.
You're right.
But I was like, I wanted to save some for Brett.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. That's true. Sorry, Brett. We'll get you next time, Brett.
Sorry.
But you're right. I was like, what? I was like, that was from HEB. But
all right, what do you want? Do you want the hibiscus saison? Do you want?
Did you have the mustard one there?
I do.
You know what? Since we're talking about the Best Made, let's bring out the mustard one.
Man.
All right. So, since Glizzy Fest is coming out, So originally, when I was talking last episode, the plan was that I was going to release this episode in 2 weeks because it was going to land as episode 70. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, man, I don't want to talk about Glizzy Fest in the past tense. So I'm going to go ahead and release this episode tomorrow, like I usually do.
Okay.
So I'm going to edit it, whatever. It'll be out tomorrow. And then we can just promote it the whole week just so y'all, people out there can learn about Glizzy Fest because it's next weekend.
Absolutely.
And then we'll back record episode 69 because we had a special topic for episode 69. Wink, wink.
Heck yeah.
So, okay, Britt, so we're going to try.
Now I got to come back for episode 69.
No, I mean, no, but if you want to,
you
can. If you want to, you can.
Okay, so this is the Best Made mustard relish pickle beer.
Yes. And everyone that I saw talking about this said it was good.
Oh, so we had it last year at Pickle Fest.
Yes.
And so here's kind of a funny thing. Whenever we do have big events, right?
Yeah.
So if you go early to an event, you'll see like 70 people running around with their heads cut off, sweating, dripping sweat. Like that's just a normal thing. And that's all the workers trying to get everything set up. We show up like an hour and a half early, or actually we open at 12. We start running around like at 9:30, 10 o'clock. So we're getting everything ready. So we always try to try the beer because we always have taproom only or limited releases just for that.
Yeah.
So we're moving at such a quick pace that we're literally like canning it or kegging it the night before to serve the next day.
Oh, wow. wow.
So we always try to get it. So we actually had, when we had the mustard relish, somebody grabbed one and like sent out the bat signal for like, yo, y'all got to come try this. So you then had like 40 employees just sitting there, just pouring cups before just drinking it.
I think there was pictures of that on Instagram, and I saw it, and I was like, what are they tasting? Like, I want to taste it. Because I didn't understand. Like, when I saw the description, I was like, that does not sound good. But then again, pretty much all the best maids that y'all made.
Was this a taproom only?
Taproom only.
Oh, okay, wow. Yeah. I didn't know that. Okay.
He sat there all the time.
I know, but I was thinking that this one, like, we just never...
No.
When the first pickle beer came out, and it was like a frenzy, and you couldn't find it anywhere, and you were buying it out of guys' trucks
and
for
then
like
the grape one
$30
too, and we went to go.
Pack.
I think actually when the grape one was released, we were at the event at Growler Exchange, and I think you were there. And that's where we got that glass from.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So because I remember we were waiting for that grape one to come out. But all right, Britt. So again, you're not here, but we're gonna try the mustard relish best made.
I will take some of that one.
Oh man,
I'm kind of okay with not being there right now.
I mean,
you say that now until you hear the reviews.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh, okay. It smells like pickles. Smells like
pickles. Yeah, I smell a little bit of. It kind of smells like if you're smelling a hot dog after it has all the stuff on it already.
Oh my god, I'm nervous. Okay.
Oh shit. That's good.
That is good.
That's good. Britt, you're missing out. I mean, I don't want to make you feel bad.
I'm gonna send a picture of this to my mom because she had seen it like on. I think she follows the page. It
makes zero sense why it tastes that good.
It does make zero sense. Yeah, exactly. That's what the thought process is when a lot of these when I see them. I'm like, that doesn't sound good. Like, how could it possibly taste good?
Yep.
No,
that's a 5.
Awful.
Yeah. That's a 5 out of 5.
It's like when you open the mustard thing and the water comes out and you're like, damn it, like I didn't want the water.
Yeah, you didn't want the water. And then
that's what this is. It's good.
No, it's good, Britt. Like, it's weird. It's so weird that it's good. It's good.
There's something with like the mustard seed that sweetens it and adds like a little bit of a spice kick to it. I think that does it. Like it's.
Yeah, there's a little bit of, I taste that spice, yeah.
I mean, not so shocked because Martin House makes good stuff, but like, I'm shocked that this...
No, there's definitely some flavors where you're like, what is that? Yeah, like I said, I was walking around, I had one of these little hydro flasks, and I was just swigging on it the whole time, and I was like, man, like I don't...
This is
4.7% ABV. But yeah, no, again, another taproom exclusive. But damn, that is... No, that's good. That's... Yeah. And we're not just saying this because you're here. Yeah. Like, that is good. Like, if Kim didn't like it, she'd be making faces.
He always gives me shit because I'm a very hard rater.
Oh. Yeah.
So, because I have a very particular, like, I know what I like, right? So
Kim and Britt like watermelon stuff. So, like, I actually made T-shirts for them. And that's for the podcast, and it's for them, but it has to deal with the watermelon.
Yeah, so you know what you like what you like.
Yeah.
We'll see, and even watermelon is one of those, like, there's certain watermelon, because there's like sweet watermelon, there's sour watermelon. Yes. So like we did watermelon crush. I think I brought you guys.
Yeah.
So we did watermelon crush. So,
I think you brought that one to us last time.
I don't know. I give out a bunch of stuff. Yeah. So like that one is more like watermelon rind. It's almost cucumber-esque in like the taste of it.
Yeah.
So like I enjoy it, but some people who are looking for like sweet watermelon, like candy bar, you're not going to get that.
Yeah.
Like that's not.
Yeah, no, like one of the best watermelon beers is the melon cart.
Have you?
Yeah.
And they didn't have that one out this year. They only saw the mango cart.
I haven't seen melon cart for like 2 years, and I know they had some distribution issues getting down here for a while.
Wow. That was like one of the best watermelon beers.
Which is funny because that was actually one of my first sours was a watermelon sour, which is still my all-time favorite. And it's not even by us, but it's still my all-time favorite, and I still drink way too much of it. And my wife yells at me when I buy it and buy the case.
Oh, shoot. Let's see. So I guess, so I know I'm going to come back to Glizzy Fest again because it's next weekend.
No worries.
We were talking about the hot dog water, the hot dog water seltzer. Have y'all had a chance to try it yet beforehand or no?
Peek?
Like,
no. So like I said, we move at a quick enough pace that like we're literally getting it ready like a day before.
And is this going to be like a taproom exclusive as well?
Yeah. Okay. So Glizzy Fest.
All right, Marcos, you're going to be in the area, so counting on
Yeah, so I believe it's called Bun Link is what Bun Link Seltzer is what it's going by. So it's going to be taproom only a few cans. I may grab one or two, and if I grab an extra, I got y'all.
So
okay,
we
cool.
need to get this one. And
Yeah, I know. Like, I wonder how it would work if you mix the mustard relish pickle beer with the. I mean, it's just weird. Like, you never know. It might work.
There's definitely some of those mixings that do work. Like, actually, we did Colombiana last year, which is which is one of our highest rated stouts or beers that we did in general. And one of the guys grabbed the piña colada that we do and mixed it with the Colombiana. So Colombiana is a rum barrel aged cherry chocolate stout with coconut. And so he grabbed the piña colada, so added coconut pineapple to it. So it was a cream ale with the stout, mixed it together. And he was like, dude, I've been drinking this thing like crazy. And I was like, first of all, why did you buy that much Colombiana?
Yeah.
And second of all, what made you think this is the mix that it's going to be with it? And he was like, it's adding coconut to coconut, and I'm just adding some pineapple. I was like, all right, fair enough. Like, go for it.
The thing that would throw me off is that one's a seltzer, one's a beer. So that might be a little weird.
That is true, yeah. Well...
See, but our seltzers are different though because they're sour. Like it tastes different. Like
wait
a minute. So the hot dog one's gonna be sour?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I was like, no
ew.
way. I was like, no way.
See, when we have our meetings, we don't talk about that stuff. We know about that stuff, but we don't talk about that stuff. So I don't.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Okay. So I guess. Whoa.
I have a question.
Go for it. And I'm gonna go get another beer while you ask.
You just brought up an interesting thought for me, which was, mixing different beers. And I remember that, and I'm back to the Toadies again, because I'm kind of a super fan, but that the Hell Below and Stars Above were intended to be mixed together. Mm-hmm. So are there any additional Martin House combos that were intended to be mixed together?
Yeah, so we actually do. We've done one for the past 2 years, which is cookies and cream. So it is a cookie dough stout.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, with the cream ale. So we have that one. So that one is sold as such to be mixed together. And then also when we did the sweet and sour strawberries, that was another one that you could mix together.
Ooh.
Sweet and sour cherries was one, and then the sweet and sour apples.
Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
Yeah, so we've done a few of them. I don't. Thinking about it now, I don't think we have one on the calendar this year to make like that. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely a few of them. There's actually like, I call it the dark pit of subreddit, but there's an actual like a Facebook page for mixing beers. Yeah, I have a fraternity brother of mine up in New York, and he tags me and stuff every now and then, but he intentionally trolls me by not letting me join the group, so I can't see what they're doing. I just know that they're mixing some of our stuff. So he sends it to me, and I kind of laugh because, I mean, it gets to New York. So, it's kind of a cool thing that it gets that far up there. But
wow, I got to get into that. I want to check that out.
You can't search it. It's like you have to be invited to it.
Dude, invite me. Come on.
I'm not in it. That's what I'm saying.
You're not in it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
what how are you not in it?
He trolls me in it. He sends me pictures of like, look what they mixed it with. And I'm like, who does that?
So it's an underground thing. I got you. It's like the dark web or something.
I mean, if you get into it, you got to tag me in it.
Okay, go for it. Of course. All right, so this next one, this is a taproom exclusive.
Yeah, so everything is peachy green. So that was actually the one that one of our Hannah, our Austin sales rep, she won a contest and she got to name and design her beer. So this was hers that she did. So
this is a nice looking can too.
Yeah.
But of course y'all will get to see this on Instagram. Britt, you're not seeing it, but it's like these two little pink frogs chilling on lily pads, and it's like pink, a little pink sunset. So it's a peach green tea blonde. This sounds really good.
It is really good.
5.4% ABV. So I'm just going to guess it's peach and green tea.
Yep. Peach and green tea ale.
What is it called again?
Everything's peachy green.
Oh, nice.
And we'll send you a pic of that as well, Britt. And we're going to try it out right now. And it's funny because I just started drinking, like literally yesterday, started drinking green tea because I like avoided it for like the longest time for certain reasons. And, I literally bought like I don't know how many different.
I let you pour it because I was gonna make a mess all over your table.
That's what we do that all the time. I literally got into green tea like 2 days ago, yesterday or something like that.
Making a mess on your paper.
Is today Friday? Yeah, yesterday. Oh, that smells really like it has a nice peach smell.
Yes. Yeah, so nice, crisp, easy blonde. So if you've had anything like Love Streets of Kolsch kind of blonde style.
Oh, that is good. Okay.
I don't know if maybe we're getting the wrong beers at HEB and they've been there for a while or something, but like so far, Britt, like there hasn't been like a
Yeah, because they have the ones that have lactose in them, and they should be chilled, and they're on.
Yeah, so we had seen that somewhere that. Well, I had seen somewhere that because of, I guess, how you were talking about the enzyme, that they do have some kind of milk property to them, and that they should be chilled.
So, I mean, we obviously have an extensive team at the brew house that, I mean, they have to make it shelf stable, basically. Okay. So, when whatever amount that we have, I mean, it's not what you're probably seeing or thinking of is like the sugar compounds in it. So sometimes the sugar compounds, like I was about to name drop somebody. There were some breweries last year that were making some beers that had a reputation for exploding on shelves because they weren't shelf stable. So
you're gonna have to tell us this off the.
I think I actually know what you're talking about, because breweries like y'all, I'm
not gonna confirm it, but
I was just gonna say, like, y'all pasteurize the beers, which means that you stabilize it for canning, and some smaller breweries don't do that. Like, I'm not gonna name any either, but like. Those have to be refrigerated because they don't get pasteurized, so they're not really suited for
for distribution or sitting on the shelf. So there are some of them, like even like you and I talked, like you mentioned IPAs, like most IPAs technically should be cold because of the way that they're made, but a lot of them just sit, warm. So like if you ever had, and again, I won't name drop, but if you ever had certain, IPAs that are just sitting in a stack out at, your HEB specs, Total Wine, whatever, it tastes different than when you get it like fresh cold from a tap.
Yeah. No, we have had one. So we actually had one. This was like a weird experience. I even told the story on one of the episodes. This was, I think, like the first year that we were doing the podcast. We had an IPA and I said, this does not taste good. And I remember I rinsed out the can, and it just kept coming out cloudy, and it just didn't taste good. I was like, this beer sucks, right?
Yeah.
So then flash forward a few months, we went to Growler. Not even a few months. I think it was a year later. We went to Growler, and I told the bartender, I was like, hey, what's the best selling IPA that you have? So she just gave it to me. I didn't see the name.
Yeah.
So then I went back, and I looked, and I was like, I had this beer before. Yeah. I liked that version of it. Draft, but the canned version sucked, and it was just because, I guess however.
And when it comes to IPAs, I mean, you want to have it as fresh as possible just because of, the actual brewing process for it. So, I mean, within like 3 months is kind of the time frame. You can have it longer, but it changes the property. I always kind of equate it to somebody like when you have a fresh soda and then you have one that's flat. Like it's not bad per se, but it's not going to be the same quality as you would have when it still has its carbonation and, its full blown properties as it was meant to be experienced or enjoyed by,
No, that's good. Britt, do you have anything else? Or you just
nothing that I can think of right now.
Okay, cool.
This is very interesting for
she's
sure.
gonna go back to the toadies again.
Yeah, she's gonna go back to the toadies. Kim, do you have anything else?
Maybe.
Marcos, what is your favorite part of your job?
Yeah.
Oh, so see, this is a fun one. So I like the people. So my background, and again, like I mentioned to you guys, I'm a talker. So I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy listening to people like you guys tell me like, oh man, I had this beer, it was delicious, and then like, oh, but this one, like, I can cuss on this, right? I fucking hated this one, right?
That's what I say all the time.
Yeah, I'm all about it. Like, I'm all about like, which one did you love and which one do you fucking hate, and let's talk about it. You know. So I enjoy talking to people. With what I do, I get to interact with buyers at HEB, Specs, Total Wine, whatnot, and specifically HEB. A lot of the displays that you might see in an HEB, they're basically bought by the distributor. If you see a Martin House one, we don't got that kind of cash, so like it's earned. They got to like us, they got to like me, and they got to give us that space. So it's kind of a cool thing to be able to get that space, to be able to get that. I enjoy talking to people. I enjoy the education. Kind of a little bit of my background, I guess, like kind of how I got into craft beer was I ran a liquor store for a little while. And during that time, I'm a data and numbers guy by nature, and I'm a problem solver. So when I took over the liquor store, I'd been in a completely different industry. And so when I went into it, I was like, well, what can I make the biggest impact in? People already drink bourbon, people already drink vodka, people already drink tequila, what can I do? So I was like, craft beer. And I looked at, the selection that I had, and it wasn't very good. So I said, you know what? This is where I can do it. So I put my whole plan around like I'm going to do craft beer.
Yeah.
And so when I took over the store, data numbers, I ran it, and we were doing like 300 a month in craft beer sales. So I actually hired somebody specifically for IPAs because I wasn't an IPA person at the time, and then I hired somebody specifically for stouts because I wasn't a big stout guy at the time. And so we crafted this entire craft beer selection, and I was like, okay, you guys put it together, and I'll sell it. So we would do samplings, and we'll talk to people, and I would ask them, you know, what do you like? What do you like now? And let me find you something close to it. So like a blonde, you know, we had a peach blonde at the time, we had a strawberry blonde, a blueberry blonde, and we even had I think it was apricot or something like that. But it was a random fruit. Yeah. And so like we kind of built it up. So over, you know, the course of a year, we built this up from $300 a month to almost $2,000 a month in craft beer sales, just by doing that. So I enjoyed, you know, taking that person coming in looking for Michelob and saying, all right, cool. Like answer some questions and let me see what I can get you into that you might like. And then it just kind of snowball effect from there. So I like doing that. And then, you know, eventually I was able to, you know, kind of come full circle and come to the beer side. So now I get to talk to people, you know, with a company that does a beer every week. So I'm like, I guarantee we got something for you, you know?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, I can't even, I think we calculated like how many beers we've had, different beers we've had of you guys. And I don't remember what the number was, but it was still pretty high, like higher than any other brewery that we've like sampled beers from or tried beers from. But I mean, I know like Shiner was releasing stuff for a while, but like not as nowhere close to as often.
It's an organized three-ring circus at the brew house. Like we are moving like I have accounts from time to time. They're like, hey, that sounds interesting, but can I try it beforehand? I tell them like, look, we are literally packaging that thing on Monday. Yeah. It's on the truck on Tuesday and it's here on Wednesday. Like I have no idea what it tastes like. So,
I guess, like that kind of shows like how busy y'all are with all the stuff that y'all have. But like, do you know like a guesstimate of like how many different beers that y'all have going at once? Like,
so that kind of varies. I think. So this would be one of those technical questions. So we have like quite a bit of a barrel. I mean, I would say we probably have between like the barrel room, the actual kegs, the bright tanks, everything else. We would probably have between 5 to 6 going consistently between different stages because of how quickly we move from it. Because of the fact that we do one for release basically every week for distribution. Yeah. But we also do 2 to 3 at the brew house. So we usually, I would say 5 to 6 would be a solid number. That's not bad. Consistently. But yeah, I mean, it's, you know, they're moving and hustling and bustling. And I mean, I've gone up to visit the brewery for events, and I'll show up Friday night at 2:00 in the morning, and, you know, the doors are open and people are working. Like that's just
wow.
Yeah, that's crazy. All right. Well, I guess I know we have a ton more beers in the fridge. So, you want to recommend 3 more for us to try before we? Because I know if you don't remember which ones they were, I mean, I could edit some stuff out and we can go look at the fridge. And see.
Let me see. Let me go check. Let me take a peek real quick, and I'll see what we got in there.
All right, I know you don't remember, but you had given us the vampire one. I think I forgot what it's called.
It's a cherry vampire or something. Right?
Yeah, but it was called like vampire.
No. Yeah, so that one's that one was actually one that I personally had cellared. I had picked it up last year. Yeah. So because of our sours, I mean, they can last for a while. Like
I kept the can for that one because I liked the artwork, and also to the
was it pomegranate sour?
Yes, it was the pomegranate. Yeah, it was the pomegranate.
Yeah, we tried that, right?
Yeah, we had it on the show. Yeah, that was one of the ones that he had given us.
Oh yeah, because we had the meloncello. That's the one that you gave us.
Meloncello.
Yeah, that was another one.
That's the one that you gave us. That was like.
Yeah, it was those two, and then when we had. There was
meloncello just to mess my stuff. So I try to golf every Sunday. So meloncello, I'll shotgun one in the second hole and then just ride the roller coaster and see what happens. So.
It's a cherry pomegranate.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the one. Yeah,
the vampires.
Sweet vampires. That's the one.
Yeah. No, that meloncello. We were like.
Yeah, because the other one. Let me see. What was the other one? Oh, there was a barrel aged one that y'all. I have the box in the office because I like the artwork, but it has Medusa on it. It's the lemon one. It was a barrel aged.
Oh, Forbidden Fruit.
That one.
Yeah, so Forbidden Fruit was meloncello. So basically, we did a cello series. So we did a limoncello, we did a green apple cello, we did a passion fruit. pomegranate.
And y'all had the cinnamon one too, right? The one that
fire
was
cello.
Yes, that was the one
Was that a good gosh or was that a bad gosh?
That was
So the brewery loves Fireball. Like if you ever want to get in good with the brewery, roll up with like a bottle of Fireball or a bucket of Fireball, they'll take shots galore. So I'm not a big I joke with people that I graduated college, so like I don't need to be drinking Fireball, but they still drink tons of Fireball. So anyways. Fireball was one. We got up there, and I remember I went for that event, and everybody was hyped up about it, right? And my brother came up with me, so I take my family with me whenever I can. So my brother came up with me, and I was like, I was like, take this glass and go give me something to drink, right? And of course, he's an asshole, right? So he was like, bet. Here's a whole ass glass of Firecello, right? So just to spite him and let him know that I'm still big brother, I chugged it, right?
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and when I tell you that I was fighting demons for the next 4 hours of my life.
Yeah, oh, sure. Because we tried it. I think we tried it on the flight, and I think that was one of the ones we didn't finish.
Yeah.
And we're like, holy shit, that one, and I think it was the cola one y'all had.
Yeah, the cola one.
Y'all had a cola one.
What is it? Twist. It was the red grapevines and Mr.
Yes,
Pibb.
that's the one. Yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, it had Mr. Pibb in it?
I think so.
Oh, shit.
So
Okay.
you know what's better than Fireball, though? Is a Jack Daniel's Tennessee Fire, which is a cinnamon whiskey, but it's just a little more elevated than Fireball.
I'm not a big cinnamon guy. Like
not big on cinnamon either.
So like we used to back in my drinking days, quote unquote. My friends and I would go to a bar, and so we would do this round, and it was completely fucking stupid. But we would go and we would all get in, and so the rule was that everybody could make one rule for the drinking. So we would have this mixology app. We would literally shake it, and it would just make a drink from there, right? But everybody got to make one exclusion. Right. So mine was always cinnamon. I was like, do not give me cinnamon. Right. Okay. And so somebody else was like, I don't want tequila. So we would mix it up. So by the end of it, and so the rule was that whenever it came down, so like if you were like, hey, I'm done, then you had to pay half of the tab at that point in time, and then so on and so forth. So basically the last person standing, aka the alcoholic, didn't have to pay for anything because everybody else paid for it. So that was like the rule. So we used to go with 6 or 8 deep, and I was like, no cinnamon, do not give me cinnamon. So I avoided cinnamon like the plague. Whenever I go, I still take my Fireball shots when I go up there because Mama didn't raise no bitch. But it's still not a preference by any means. So
no,
I can't think of anything that I don't. Beer
Southern Comfort. Liquor wise, is that enough for me?
Okay. Britt, any no-goes for you? Lydia, any no-goes for you?
Like just in general?
I guess in general.
Like an alcoholic beverage
or
flavor
no,
that
you're just
no.
not going to do it?
I really don't drink liquor.
Okay.
What about beer-wise then?
And so I think because of that, I really don't love beers that are aged in liquor barrels.
Oh, the barrel-aged ones.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I think those are, okay, makes sense.
It's just they're usually real heavy hitters, and they still have the flavor of the liquor, so I can tell, but and so it's a little intense for me.
All right. So before we leave, we're gonna Marcos picked out 3 more taproom exclusives.
Shotgun. No, I'm just kidding.
No, 3 more.
I'm down. Don't tell me with a good time.
3 more taproom exclusives for us to try. The artwork on these are fucking badass.
Shout out to Donnie. He's our artist. He does all the artwork. That dude is killer. I have a friend of mine, or one of my cousins is an artist. And he tries to replicate it and do his own twist on it. So it's really cool. But it's definitely eye-catching to have it on there. So
does he do every single?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's a
How
friend.
much time does he have to come up with that then? If y'all are as soon as they get the idea, they're like, okay, dude, you gotta come up with.
So that's more the production side of it. So whenever we make a beer, so it depends on if we release it. So if we release it, it's got to go through TBC, it's got to go through approval. So usually, I think the lead time's 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
From concept and idea, because we have to get the beer or the concept idea of the beer. We got to get the concept idea of the artwork, the can, all that. We got to submit it, get approved, all that. So he's got lead time with that. But then the brew house, I'm sure he just kind of, he has some stuff that he's already working on and throws in there.
Constantly drawing. He's just
all right. So the first one that we're going to knock out is called Galapagos. It's a hibiscus saison. So that's a farmhouse ale. I know Kim and Britt don't really like the farmhouses. I do. It's a 7% ABV, a 16-ounce can. And it's really cool. It has a pink iguana on it with a green background and a little hibiscus flower in front. Of course, like I said, I'm going to be posting the pictures of these this artwork from the cans on the Instagram, like I always do.
Yeah.
And then Britt, of course, will send you pictures so you can check them out.
Thank you.
Actually, I'll probably still have the cans by the time you come next time.
Yeah.
Because it takes me a while to load up all the stuff sometimes.
No worries.
Give it a smell.
Good.
I don't really smell much, but I know hibiscus is not very like scent wise. I don't think it's
very hibiscus on the front end when you put it in. Like it tastes like you bit into like a fresh hibiscus leaf.
That's actually not bad.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I like it too. The only thing I don't like is that weird. It's like a slight bitterness in the end. Mm-hmm. That's the only thing I don't like.
I don't get that.
I'd give it like a 4, like a strong 4 out of 5.
Oh, you always get
only because of that. That's the only thing I don't. That's the only thing I'm not really
take
digging.
A big enough drink. No, I said.
Oh, that's what I always
don't
say.
get that.
So usually when she says something, I'm like, you didn't take a big enough. Yeah. But no, these are good like sizes of.
Yeah, these are like 1.5 ounce.
Actually, we should get some.
We should get some of these.
Yeah, we should get some of these.
We're like, fuck.
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out. I'm like, open up.
I did that. I did that one time at an event. I was pouring like 3-ounce pours, and then I actually when I was working at the liquor store, it was funny because I had a beer guy. So I used to tell my vendors, I was like, yo, unless I can try it, don't bring it to me because I want to be able to talk to people and tell my personal experience, right? So I had one guy. So shout out to Israel. He came out and he was like, I got you, right? So he rolled in with an ice chest. Mind you, this is like 9 o'clock in the morning with an ice chest, right? And he pulls this stuff off of ice. He was like, we're trying sampling, right? So in concept, in theory, you're like, oh, they're little samples, right? But they're 2-ounce samples, right? So you do, because of fucking math, you do 2 times 13, right? And you've now had 7 shots before 10 o'clock in the morning, right? So I text my God. Yeah, so I text my assistant. I was like, hey, I'm hammered. I need you to either A, bring me food, or B, come into work and let me go home and sleep for a little bit. So he shows up and he was like, tacos. Go ahead.
Oh, or she said, or eat tacos.
No, see, I was responsible. So I was like, I can't drive anywhere. I can't walk anywhere. No. Like I'm the only one working the store.
Somebody needs to come to me.
Yeah. So he was cool about it though. He rolled up with some McGriddles from McDonald's, and then worked the shift for me. Cool. And then he was laughing because he was like,
in the office in the back.
No, we didn't even have an office with like a little cubicle.
So put it by the counter.
Yeah, so he was laughing at me. So it was funny because he was laughing at me. And the next week, the same thing happened to him with somebody else. And he was, and all I get was a text at like 8:30 in the morning that says, I get it. And I said, what? And then he sent me a picture and he just leaned over on the wall.
Dang, that's funny.
Gonna feel later.
Yeah, that's usually what happens on this podcast, but no one gets paid, so we don't have to call in or anything.
There you go.
All right, so this.
So y'all said you aren't big stout fans, so do that one last.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll leave the stout. But I was just looking at the artwork. The artwork is sick on that shit.
This is Cherry's Jubilee Imperial Cherry Dessert Beer. Big boozy cherries, 12% alcohol by volume.
12%. Okay. Holy shit.
So this one's going to be interesting because you guys say y'all have different taste palettes.
Yes.
So it's like split 50-50. Some people taste like Robitussin.
Oh, yeah.
And some people taste like sweet maraschino cherries, like if you drink the juice from the cherries.
Anything cherry usually is medicine.
Let's see.
I want to try this. Is that one exclusive?
Yeah, this one's
taproom?
this one's a taproom.
It is Brit, but don't worry about it. I have plenty more, so I'll get them some more. I got you.
Okay.
Oh yeah, medicine all the way. Okay. I already knew it.
It's weird because it kind of smells medicine-y, but not really. Like it has a bit of medicinal scent, but
it doesn't taste.
No, Kim got straight medicine on that one.
Oh,
yeah.
I like vermouth.
Yeah, I think I taste more medicine as well. But it's not like super, like it's not as medicinal as I thought it was going to taste.
I've had worse, for sure. It kind of dissipates quickly.
Yeah, and then like you kind of get the tartness from the cherries at the end.
And because it's cherries, you get a little bit of like bread.
Yeah,
almost yeasty.
Yeah.
That is
I'd give it.
That sounds good. I'm dying to have some.
It's good. We'll have some for you next time. Next time, Lydia, you can come over for an episode.
I have more. I have more of these. I'll bring you some more.
He has more of these.
Okay, well, he has more of these. So next time we do an episode in person, Lydia, and you're able to come, we'll have one of these.
Okay.
I don't know. I think I give it like a 3.7 out of 5. Like it's not bad. It's just not my.
Dude, if it's anything like vermouth, I'm good. I love sweet vermouth.
Oh,
straight.
You said if it's like the vermouth.
I would say it's gonna be close to it. It's not. I'm trying to.
Sweet vermouth is my jam.
I mean, if you're a wine person, have you had like an ice wine?
Yeah, but I like vermouth.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, if you like vermouth, it's going to be I would say it's close to it. It's still kind of its own thing. Like so for me, I always separate the two because I have like a liquor palate, I have a wine palate, and I have a beer palate. Yeah. So like mine is a little bit. I hate to use the word distinguish, but it's separate. Like I can compartmentalize the different ones. Yeah. So like I can try to put it close to it. So it does have that sweetness, but because of the 12%, it does have that booziness. Yeah. So that booziness separates from the cherry. So you get like cherry.
All you're doing is selling me.
Oh, there you go. I'm with it. See, like, again,
that's his job.
Again, background is education. I try to. So whenever I talk to somebody, I try to put it into perspective of what they can taste like. Yeah. So like even when we had like our sour seltzers, like I was talking to people and they were like, "What does it taste like?" And I was like, "Have you ever had the sour watermelon Jolly Ranchers?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm like, "That's what it is in a can." And they're like, "Okay, cool." And they're like, "What does the strawberry taste like?" I'm like, "That one to me tastes like the Hill Country Fair strawberry soda, like with a little bit of booze in it." And then they're like, "What about the grape?" And the grape tastes like if you were ever a kid and you put pixie sticks in your water, like that's what the grape tastes like. And like, what about the blue raspberries? Like if you ever ate just the blue part of the Charlie gummy worms, that's what it tastes like. So it very much. I try to put it as close as possible as like what like that childhood memory. That
What was the candy that you said it tasted like, Britt? You said something. Somebody said something.
The dipping stick thing.
Same concept.
Yes.
It's basically pixie sticks. Yeah, Fun Dip.
Fun Dip. There you go.
Same concept with it. Like we had when we did Green Dream last year, it was our green apple sour.
That one was good. I have the can in the office as well. That's with the creature from the Black Lagoon on it. Yes.
Okay. So the green so that
lactose.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So that one was funny because for me, when I think of green apple, I think of the Charlie green apple, right? And I was like, y'all motherfuckers went to the dollar store and then y'all grabbed the green apple flavor. Yeah. And that's like, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't what I was expecting, And so it was one of those, like, I thought it was good, but I thought it could have been better. And like, so that one actually, I drank a lot of it, and I did chamoy dip with it. So like, I usually don't try to do a whole lot of flavoring added to it, but I did a chamoy dip. It was killer. My mom bought like a case of it. She's not a beer drinker like that. So she is, So
I think like Mario would have got more if he could have.
That was one of my favorite ones, but also too, like, I was a fan of that artwork as well.
Yeah.
I think that made me like it more. The same thing with the vampire one too.
Yeah. There's a few of those like that. Whenever it comes to like flavor and style and like styles, whatever, like I always try to tell people like there are certain ones that like I think that we've done better than other people. That's why like when I brought the afternoon siesta, like when y'all rated that Shiner 5, I was like, nah.
I'm glad you brought it because that was really good. It changes. Like there's certain flavors and styles of beer that I'm like I'll go out there and try. Like for me, like I used to be a big Dos Equis drinker. Like that was my go-to. So like so like Dos Equis salt and lime is my go-to. Like I went to the Frio. I'm born and raised out there, so I went to the Frio like for Father's Day weekend. I took a whole case of Dos Equis salt and lime, and that was my go-to drink. I had a bunch of our stuff, and so when I was cooking, grilling, when I was hanging out at the cabin, I was drinking our stuff. But down at the river, just pounding back, Dos Equis salt and lime was my go-to. Cool. All right, so we're down to the last one for today. Of course, we'll try more Martin House next time when Britt's here.
Of course.
This is a crazy like artwork. It's like a shark in a robot mech suit, and he's like shooting lasers from his head.
Because it's sharks with freaking lasers.
Yeah, sharks with, and there's like an octopus trying to get him, and there's a squid in the. I don't know. It just looks sick. So it's called Sharks with Freaking Laser Beams Attached to Their Heads, Part 2. That's a reference to Austin Powers.
Yes.
It's an imperial stout with chipotle peppers, sea salt, and dark chocolate. 10% ABV. It's a 16-ounce can. So Britt, Lydia, I don't know if y'all heard this, but it's a stout with chipotle peppers, sea salt, and dark chocolate.
Okay, so the chipotle, so the chipotle peppers, you get the taste of pepper without the spice.
Okay, I got you.
So it doesn't. So and this one's actually funny. So
roasty and smoky.
What's that?
She said, "Is it
roasty and smoky?"
It's a little bit smoky, but it's like that dry heat. Like, like some people understand when I say dry heat, like that's what it is. So this one's funny because this is part 2. So part 1 was actually one that we did. It was sea salt and coconut, right? And I had just kind of gotten into coconut, and I was like, you know what? I don't mind it. Let me try it. And my brother drove up there because he was working for a dealership at the time. So he drove to Fort Worth, and I was like, yo, go by the brewery and grab this for me, right? Mm-hmm. And he brought it to me, and I was like, man, that's a fuck ton of coconut. That's the only thing I could say about it. And I gave it to my buddy, and he was like, "Man, I love coconut." And then like I was like, "Yo, what'd you think?" And he was like, "That's a fuck ton of coconut." And so I traded the other two that I had with other people, and they all said the same thing. Like I was thinking Almond Joy, and it was as if like an Almond Joy had just like merged an entire family of chocolate and just took over. And it was there was so much damn coconut in it, and I was like, "Man, I can't like not so much that I couldn't enjoy it, but it was just way too much coconut for me." And everybody who said they loved coconut tried it. So then when this one came out, I was like, you know what? Like, let me give it a go. And I was just hoping the peppers didn't come out, and it didn't. Like the peppers is like subtle. You taste it on the back end, but it's not the heat of it. It's just the flavor of it.
I'm going to say right off the bat that it smells really good. It kind of reminds me of those Mexican chocolate, whatever.
La Abuelitas?
Yeah. I'm gonna taste it first.
Go ahead. I'm very apprehensive. But I have mustard relish pickle to chase it with.
It has a tad bit of that stout aftertaste that we usually talk about, but it doesn't linger in the front, and it's super good. Like it's got like really good flavor.
You get chocolate salt and then a little bit of peppers and then a little bit of bite, but not too much.
You have that bitterness like 3/4 of the way in, and then at the end, it's like. That's gonna go away. No.
Oh,
then that's gonna go. No, that's
end.
gonna go away. Then it kind of tastes like if you ate like a dark chocolate at the end, at the very very end.
Yeah.
I like this one. I'd give it like a shit. I don't know, because it tastes very chocolatey once everything goes away. Like you still have that chocolate flavor in your mouth. 4.8. I'm gonna go 4.8 out of 5.
Okay.
I really like it. It's just that weird bitterness that I personally don't like.
Right.
But that's like 3/4 in. But other than that, it doesn't linger.
And that bitterness is kind of like if you drink black coffee. Like
Yeah.
Like for me, I drink black coffee. I drink my whiskey neat, like no ice, no nothing, no frills. Like that's just what it is. So I mean, it's just kind of it definitely is an acquired taste when people try stouts, because I mean stouts are the high end of it. Those are. If you have somebody who's a Jack and Coke fan, and you try to give them straight whiskey, like they're not.
That's weird. Yeah. No, I mean, I like whiskey too. Like I have whiskey bottles over here too, and I've gotten into whiskey in the past like 2 years.
Yeah.
But this one I liked it. Like this is probably one of the better stouts that we've had on. Well, to me, that we've had.
Two of the better stouts.
Two. Yeah, there you go. No, you're right. That one was pretty fucking good.
And this one's coming back this year.
Okay,
so.
sweet, awesome.
Nice.
Well, we're gonna get some of that so Britt can try it. But I guess with all that out the way, if y'all don't have any more questions for Marcos, I guess
I'm here. I got plenty of time. I ain't got dinner plans for later, so if you got any questions, shoot them away. We'll talk.
I can't think of anything else unless you think we should try another beer.
Oh my goodness.
Ooh.
That's
I bet you're going to start getting giggly real soon.
I mean, we've tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different beers. Brett,
I think we only got 2 or 3 up there, so I'm down to go for the last 3. Like,
But we've only had these little cups. We're not doing it like
true.
we do when we do it with you.
Usually it's more like we're winging it, and we're like, how much can our mouth
Usually
hold?
it's like this much of like a pour.
All right, you know what? Screw it. Let's knock out the last 3 since Marcos is here. He brought them. Let's try them.
my
I'm gonna go
God.
grab them. Hold on.
so you got to take a picture of this to show everybody with all the different stuff. Yeah. See, this is the fun stuff. So it's actually kind of funny because you guys are sitting here doing this with me. So whenever I have like hangouts and barbecues in my house, this is almost the exact same thing I do. Yeah, but except I'll mess with my people because I always have it's inevitable. It's inevitable that somebody comes over and is like, I don't care. And I was like, bet. And I will rip the label off and hand them something.
That's a good.
And then they very quickly care on what it is after that.
All right, Britt. So one of these that we have here is the Watermelon Crush. We actually had this already. So we can put that one aside. Yeah. So we'll hold that one for, we can just have it
I
for
think
next
we did
episode.
we bring the spicy? Because there was a spicy one, right?
Yes.
Yes, we got that one. We brought the
we
spicy
also had
one.
this one.
Really?
Yeah. Let me look it up real quick.
I'm like, I know we brought, because they sell them in the cans, and we could take that with us. So we
Yeah.
brought
All I got to do is
the
pull up the
spicy one.
spreadsheet.
So this one to me actually has a little bit more watermelon and that cucumber taste to it, which again, I fuck with cucumber. So like cucumber and watermelon is a go-to. So
there's
like
a cucumber beer from, where is it from, Britt? It's from Oregon?
Oh, yeah, it's from Oregon. It's called Cucumber Crush. It's from 10 Barrel Brewing.
Cucumber.
And that is the best. And it doesn't come this far down to us.
See,
and it's
No,
the shit.
sadly.
I got to call my buddy up. So you know who's got a good cucumber beer? We haven't done one yet, but you know who's got a good cucumber beer is Independence Brewing. I think you tried theirs.
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
The what is it? The
Yeah, Redbud something or
Yeah,
whatever.
the Redbud.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is.
Yeah,
Shout out
they
my boy
haven't
Cody.
put it
So
out recently.
yeah,
Yeah.
so Cody and I actually used to work at the same liquor company, so the same liquor store company. So I know him. So I
Okay.
give him shit because I'm like, bro, the only beers I drink from you guys is that one and y'all's hazy IPA. I won't mess with any of the rest of them.
Yeah.
So
Like,
this year we only found that Redbud cucumber one, and it was with gin. It was a cocktail.
yeah.
We couldn't find
Yeah.
the regular straight cucumber.
You know, actually, so somebody else pointed that out to me. To me, it tastes the exact same as I had it last year. So I think they've always done it that way.
Okay.
If I'm being
we
honest.
couldn't differentiate because it had been some time before.
Right,
So
yeah.
it was like,
And especially after you start trying beers, like your palate changes. Like there was one, again, I don't want to name drop because I'm about to bash it, but there was one watermelon beer last year that was like my substitute for my all-time favorite watermelon beer. And I got it this year and it was fucking terrible. And I was so mad
What?
about it.
trying to think of my mom. We've had every one.
No. When I tell you that I bought every watermelon beer in existence that I could get my hands on, like
Yeah, I think every time I see something watermelon too, I'm like, let's grab it.
Yeah,
The
so
seltzers, we had a Corona
Of course.
seltzer. We've
Yeah.
had the freaking White Claw. We've had, beers.
So I think I'm wrong. We didn't have this. This looks familiar. I think I might have maybe seen it on y'all's page,
Possibly.
but we've never had it because it's not on our spreadsheet. So, but Britt, I'll do you a favor and I'll hold this one, this watermelon.
we can drink it. I might
Thank
have
you.
another one, so you should go.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna try the watermelon crush then. Britt, we'll have another one for when you get here.
I'm like 99%
Okay.
sure I have one in my fridge, Britt. Like,
Okay.
I'll have to check. If not, I got you something else.
All right. This is
Yay, thank you.
It's their watermelon sour ale, and that is a. I'm trying to see what the ABV is on it. It's a 4.2% ABV. So we're gonna give this a shot real quick.
And I have a question for Marcos whenever he's ready.
Yeah, go for it. I'm here for questions. What you got?
Yeah, so my question is, if you had to pick a music-related topic for our podcast, what would it be?
Oh, that's a
Okay,
good
so
one.
see, this is kind of funny because I always go back and forth with my brother on music, but so
Okay.
he's from the younger generation. So my brother's 9 years younger than me, but he and I are close as shit, right?
Okay.
So I'm from like
Okay.
the late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
So
That's us.
That's us.
yeah. So I grew up very much of like, gangster rap, hip hop, whatever. But I definitely did, dive into like the Blink 182, the Green Days, the, later on Breaking Benjamin, Avenged Sevenfold, Five Finger Death Punch, all that kind of stuff. So a little bit of everything. So like, to me, I think the biggest discussion that I have with my brother is like, he assumes the greatest is what he knows, not what came
yeah.
before.
Okay. Yeah.
Like he can't wrap his head around the idea that there was something better.
Yeah.
So like one of the things, so like I'll give you his, and it's not quite related to what you guys do, but
Yeah.
so like he's a big Lil Wayne fan, right? And I'm a
This is my little
huge,
sister.
and I'm a huge Jay-Z fan, right?
okay.
And so we've had this battle for years, right? Fucking years. And so literally like 2 weeks ago, he was like, okay, give me an album to listen to. And I was like, listen to the Blueprint and tell me you're not bumping that shit, right?
Yeah.
And so he threw it on and he was like, okay, I'll fuck with it, right? And I was like, okay. He's like, what next? And I was like, you got to listen to the Black Album. He was like, all right, cool. So then he hit me up like 2 days ago. He was like, all right. He was like, Lil Wayne's number 1, but Jay-Z's a solid 2. And I was like, no, you got to finish it though. Yeah.
No.
So we have this discussion all the time. So for me, I tell him like, you have to wrap your head around the idea that there could have been something greater than what you know.
Yeah.
So when it comes to music, I would say like whatever you think is the greatest now, like listen to that old head that says like, hey, this is better and see what it is. Like,
And
so,
it all comes like
Yeah.
everybody's sampling.
right.
They're always taking the riff or they're taking
And it
the
all
beat,
comes
or
from
they're
the stuff
taking
before
a
it.
line.
Yeah.
Oh, my brother was like, he was texting me like Jay-Z lines or whatever, and I was hitting the hole with the whole verse, and he was like, bro, and I was like, yeah, but like, you don't understand. So like, for me, I'm like, it's like, you can't, so for him, again, it's Lil Wayne, right? I was like, you can't give somebody the title of greatest if you never saw the next 3.
Yeah.
So-
like if
so-
you're not comparing
Or
it to
even back
anything else.
further than that, right? Like go back to the origins of hip hop.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
understand the genre and where it came from.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's one of those like we have discussions and he and I do sports and cars and series and whatnot and movies and all kinds of stuff and it's always I tell him I'm like, man, I was like I know I sound like the old head because I'm telling you like you don't understand it. I was like, but wrap your head around, and so like we always do a basketball. I know you guys aren't in a sports podcast, but we always do the basketball thing. Like, he's a big LeBron James fan, right?
Yeah.
And I was like, I know it's hard for you to wrap your head around the fact that like in the 2000s, the idea was like, yo, it's Kobe versus whoever else makes it.
Yeah.
Like that was the understanding that it was Kobe versus whoever else. I was like, and before that, it was like, yo, as long as Jordan makes it to the playoffs, he's winning it. Like it was a foregone conclusion. And I was like, I know it's hard for you to wrap your head around that shit. I was like, but you got to realize like that's what it was. Like that is literally what it became.
It's like
and
Jordan walked so LeBron could run.
and I was like, and
it goes back much further than that.
And even then, like when it comes to music, I mean, you know, the generation that laid the foundation for what it is now is totally different. You know, when you go back to, you know, to rap and you listen, or to rock and you listen to your, you know, your Metallicas, your AC/DCs, your Motley Crues, your Twisted Sister, you know, the White Snake, all the, you know, traditional stuff, like they laid the foundation for what it became. So, you know, so understanding like what it started as, and understanding like they were the first one, like they were the odd sound compared to everybody else. Like that to me is appreciation of it. So like, again, you know, from me being a data guy, I'm like, you know, like again, I mean, I guess kind of rolling back to like craft beer. Like I mentioned to you guys off air, but you know, my boy Juando, he's a fraternity brother of mine. He's an older head. So I was big into like Dos Equis and whiskey, right? And I remember he brought me this like triple barrel aged coffee vanilla bean stout, right? And he was swigging this shit down like it was the, you know, the fucking drink of the gods. And I was like, bro, this tastes like straight booty hole. Like I don't understand how the fuck you're drinking this, right? And so by nature, to understand what the fuck why he liked it and I didn't, I was like, okay, cool. Let me figure this out. So I fucking threw some headphones on. I ran down the rabbit hole. I started Googling it and I started understanding the taste profiles and how your palate develops and how your taste buds develop. And I was like, okay, cool. Like this makes sense. Like let me get to his level so I can understand why the fuck he thinks this tastes delicious. And I think it tastes like, you know, fucking soy sauce. Right. And so because I mean that's what a lot of people do. A lot of people, you know, they equate it to like, you know, like burnt coffee or soy sauce. Like that's naturally what people go to with it. And so that was one of those things. Like I dug into it, and then so it's funny because like he got me into, you know, quote unquote craft beer. Now I'm his fucking dealer. So he's like, hey, well, because now he doesn't have to buy it. So his wife's like, hey, Mark works for the company. You don't have to buy it anymore. So she's like, hey, bro, I need a re-up. I'm like, I got you, bro. Like I'll take you a 6-pack, you know. And I grabbed whatever. And so like that was one of those things, like, you know, my brother being, you know, kind of the not so much a millennial, but just kind of the hype machine, you know, he was like, oh, you got to try this beer. I was like, I fucking work for beer. Like I don't have to try anything. Like I know what I got, you know. And so it was funny because like when I mentioned I took him to the brewery, so he's, you know, a sour guy. He like, we did a Saint Rita, which was a strawberry margarita last year. Yes. Coming back also. So he loved it. Right. And so he was drinking that. So he went to the brewery, and he's not an IPA guy by any means, right? And so he was just fucking hammered, stumbling around the grounds of Martin House with holding onto a 6-pack of just hot ass IPAs and just trying to share with everybody and just swigging them down. And he was like, I'm sober. And I was like, you were not sober. Like you were not an IPA guy, and that shit is 110 degrees and you're pounding it back. Like, you know, like, so that was his thing. So yeah, when it comes to music, I guess to go back to it, Brady, is just like, is the appreciation of like, understanding and appreciating what it started as opposed to what it is now.
Yeah, that's a good one.
I like it.
Yeah,
for sure.
So I guess coming back to a music topic, I guess like right now, what's your go-to genre or artist?
Or
like what are you listening to like right now?
Oh man, so see, I still like I guess I'm that guy that never quite left the 2000s. So
you're preaching to the choir.
Yeah. So I'm
with you.
Yeah. So here's the thing. I'm always up for something new, but I have to trust the person I ask, if that makes sense, right? So like, you know, so like again, going back to my brother, I use RC, shout out RC, he's probably not listening, but anyways, I gave him the example. So like, I told him, I was like, all right, like, I was like, look, I like lyrics. I like, tell me the story. Like, let me hear the fucking story. Let me be in that moment, right? So I was like, okay, like, here's what I like. Give me something comfortable, right? So I joke with him that every time he says little, I just add skid mark on the end, right? They have a different name, but I always throw skid mark on there, right? So he was like, no, he's like, you got to listen to like Little Baby, right? And I was like, all right. And I was like, who else? You know, and he was like, you know, Little Durk. I was like, okay, who else? And he was like, I don't listen to him, but Drake. And I was like, okay, cool. I fuck with Drake. Let me start at the beginning, right? So I got like 6 songs. It's a Little Baby. And I was like, I'm not feeling this. Like, this is like Smokers music, right? Like, hey, shout out to the Smokers. Go for it. Do your thing, right? But like, you know, I was an SPM guy back in the day.
The substance.
You know? But there wasn't, you know, it was mumble rap, right? And I used to listen to like Bone Thugs and Harmony. So like mumble, you know, I'm cool with like the fast pace, like you can't hear every word, right? But then I listen to Lil Durk. I'm like, okay, cool. Like I'm with it, right? So I'm like, okay, like you got one W. Like it's been 10 years. You got one W, you know? And so when it comes to that, like I would say I'm still pretty heavy into like, you know, the Jay-Z. I'm a huge Eminem fan. You know, so when he came out with, you know, Music to Be Murdered By, I listened to that. You know, they put out a new, who the hell was it? Somebody put out an album not too long ago. It was one of like the Green Day, Blink 182, one of those guys. Somebody put out one of them. Somebody from that time frame put out a new album. I'm like, all right, cool. Like I'm listening to it. And so like I have a 12-year-old son. So like, I was like, you gotta, like, he doesn't have a music taste right now. So like every time we get in the car, I throw on that 2000 music so he can have that appreciation for like what it is. And so, like super proud moment. Like he'll have a few, like we were watching, a show. Oh, no, City High came on. I don't know if you remember City High. What would you do?
Yes.
So City High, what would you do? There you go. High five right here. Hell yeah. So it came on and it had the sample, from, next episode from Dr. Dre.
Oh, okay.
Right. And so like I'm driving, right? And my son's like, oh man, like they sampled it, right? So I was like, cool. The fact that he and I had the conversation months before, the fact that he understood it was a sample, right? I was like, yo, bravo. Like I was clapping for him, right? And he was like, and he was like, that's cool that this music sampled Dre. So the fact that he called him Dre, and I was like, fuck this. So super, I was crying down the road. My wife was like, what are you doing? I was like, you have no idea, like 12-year-old me and 12-year-old my son are two different people. Like I joke with my son all the time, like, son, 12-year-old me would have bullied you. Like that's just, it was a very different upbringing that he and I had. And I mean, it's for a reason, but like, for him, it was one of those, like, he's like, SpongeBob and rainbows and like having a good time. And, 12-year-old me was like blunts and bitches. So just two very different.
But also too, that era was the era was different too. Like every
like information.
Cause like that, like what you're talking about, like that's all I remember. And I was like 5th grade.
Right.
Like that's what everyone was into. And we were like fucking kids. It was just, that's how it was.
It was very different. And it's funny because I have my cousin Felix, so he and I are I think we're like 4 years apart. So like he and I used to run the streets together, and we were just doing a bunch of dumb shit as 12-year-olds, 13-years-olds, or whatever. So like he has a 13-year-old, so he's his son is 1 year older than mine, and so he was like we were hanging out one time under unfortunate circumstances, but we were hanging out, and he was like, "Can you believe those are our fucking kids?" Like, bro, I can't. Like, it's like a fucking joke. Like, those are not our kids. Like they. They were sitting there playing fucking freeze tag at 12, and I was like, bro, I would have been in the back corner of that tree smoking a blunt. Like I would not have been.
It's just different now, dude. Everything's different.
Yeah.
It's funny when I see those like those reels or whatever on Instagram, and it's like, 5th grade me like singing the lyrics, and then 30-year-old me like, what the hell?
Yeah.
I was singing that.
My mom was letting me sing that shit.
Yeah, I mean, 12-year-old me was driving around, and I mean, I'm originally from Uvalde, so that's my hometown. So 12-year-old me was driving around Uvalde picking up my friends to go to the river. Like, my 12-year-old son can't fucking cook a Hot Pocket without burning himself. Like, we are not the same.
That's hilarious.
That watermelon beer.
Oh yeah, that watermelon beer was the shit.
It was the shit. It was it was like so close to that cucumber crush.
Yeah, it was, and it's weird because it's called watermelon crush.
But I told you it has that cucumber. It
does. Yeah,
it's like almost cucumber-esque in what it is, but it has like a little bit of that watermelon.
There was one that we had recently where it was, I think, last episode or 2 episodes back, where it tasted more cucumber than watermelon, but it was still fucking good. I don't remember which one it was, but Britt, that watermelon one that we just had, it's good. I give it a 5. The next one we're gonna have, so. The last time we had one of these, it was a pink lemonade, and I think you remember this one, Britt, because I think we had it together. This one is this one's strawberry lemonade. It's a sour lemon with strawberry It's a sour with lemon and strawberries. 5.2% ABV. The artwork on this is fucking awesome. It's like a foil artwork. It's like kind of shiny.
Yeah, don't worry about it, Britt. I'll come back one time when you're here. I'll bring some other shit.
Cool.
So I'm gonna dig into the bag though, and you guys are gonna get like some like ranch. You can get like some ranch and hot wings. I'm gonna bring that stuff for you.
Oh, we saw that. Okay, so how is that one? How would you describe that one? Because I've seen.
See, now you put me on the spot again.
Well, I mean, it's just.
So ranch would be if you made a ranch drink. Like there's just no other. Like if you just made.
If you just poured ranch.
If you just poured ranch and made it more liquefied.
So it's creamy tasting then.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that's weird. Okay.
Yeah, that is
and hot wings is like more drinkable Tabasco. Like
and there's the barbecue sauce one too. Has that one come out yet?
Whoa.
Barbecue sauce is this
He's checking
week?
his watch. He's
Murph,
like,
I'm trying to remember.
Brewing it right now.
Yeah. Barbecue. Yeah, Murph Juice is the one.
Yeah, that's the one.
So I mean, so here's the thing. So this is funny because I get into this with people all the time too. Okay. So when it comes to like certain beers, right? Don't look at it from the practical perspective.
Okay.
Look at it from the Martin House perspective.
No, we do now with these. Yeah.
So Murph Juice. So when you look at it, you're thinking barbecue sauce, right? Yeah. So that's a practical, right? So you got to take it back and be like, okay, what are they doing? So it's essentially our michelada with different spices.
Okay, that's what I kind of figured. Yeah.
So instead, I think it has like more. It's like got like cumin. It's got a little bit more tomato, and then I think it has like mustard seed. I think is what it was. So if you guys aren't already following, so Martin House Brewing on TikTok, check it out. Our marketing guy, he does a great job of going through it. So shout out Shug. So he does a good job of reviewing the beers, talking about them, taking a look at them. So he gives you a pretty good perspective of it. If not, you can hit me up on social media and be like, hey, what do you think? And I'll give you, my opinion on it. It's a little bit different, but yeah, it's the same thing. Cause like when we did, Cottonhead and Knitting Muggins back in December, so people were like, oh, y'all put spaghetti in it. I was like, no. We put pasta in it. It's just a bread. It's a yeast. It's not, Yeah, people were thinking we put whole ass fucking, some meatballs and shit in there. Nah, man, it was just some regular setup with it. So
I wouldn't be okay. So that sounds crazy. So this one's strawberry lemonade. Let's give it a taste real quick. It smells fucking strawberry.
So I've actually had like 3 of these I've never had until here with you guys. So
sweet. This one smells really good. All right, Britt, you got to go, right?
What's that?
You got to go.
Oh, yeah, we were going to check out, but Lydia had one more question.
Okay, what's one more question
Lydia, what you got?
Before y'all go?
Okay, here's the question. I am already itching for the fall flavors and October and all that jazz. Tell me what you got at Martin House.
Oh, see, you're asking way too far ahead.
Like pumpkin spice and stuff, right?
Come on.
Okay, so
I start seeing Halloween stuff in August.
Okay, so I'll tell you.
Of summer.
I'll tell you this: we don't typically follow the seasons like that. We'd kind of go like I don't want to say so much against the grain, but so like for instance, the pumpkin stuff, right? So like again, having worked in the industry, that pumpkin window is so fucking small.
Yeah.
It's like 2 to 3 weeks that you can hit pumpkin stuff that people are all over it, and then it's just gone. Yeah. So for
but I'm still asking about fall.
Yeah. So but it's still pumpkin.
Exclusively pumpkin.
So I will say this. So we do have this last Girl Scout, we do have that coming back. So I'll give you that one, right? And then we do have 2 other fall beers in the category. I believe one of them is going to be a pumpkin. I have to check the calendar again. I think one of them is a pumpkin, and then I think we're going to have. I'm trying to remember. We have like 3 different calendars, but I want to say one of them is going to be. We have more stouts for sure, so we're going to be in that stout category, more of the milk chocolate. So we got stouts for you, so be on the lookout for that. I know pretzel stout will be coming back, so. If you,
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay,
wait. You guys like pretzel stout?
Britt wants a pretzel beer.
She wants a pretzel
Just
beer.
straight pretzel.
Yes,
Britt, we have our white chocolate pretzel stout that came out this week.
Oh, I don't think she knows about that one.
Yeah, Britt, we got white chocolate pretzel stout. You got to go grab it.
White chocolate pretzel. Yes.
Oh wow!
All right.
Yeah, we just really. I was literally out stocking it today, so we just released it. I don't even know what fucking date it is.
Well,
this
definitely
week.
if we see it, because usually we'll go to like HEB or we'll go to Total Wine.
Yeah. Shout out HEB for taking it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shout out HEB for supporting us. So especially you guys, the one local here for you guys. So,
Well, that's where we mainly.
White chocolate pretzel stout. It just came out this week, so definitely be on the lookout for it. So it's our classic pretzel stout that everybody knows and loves. We added white chocolate to it. It's a little bit of that creaminess, a little bit more chocolate to it. So yeah, if you would like the fall flavor, it's definitely white chocolate pretzel stout. Like I said, Thin Mint's coming back out. I believe we have a pumpkin one on the calendar, and then I'd have to look at it and see. Honestly, with how quickly we move and how much shit I got to remember, I look at it like 3 weeks ahead max, and I don't look much further because there's possibility for it to change. There's possibility for it to be something different. So I don't dive too much into it as far as looking ahead. I just look at kind of like the next 2 to 3 weeks in terms of normal memory, I guess you would say.
Don't worry, Lydia, I got your back.
Okay.
I'll keep an eye on it as it goes, and then I'll let you know what's coming out.
Yeah,
because you already know I got your back on those Iron Maiden beers. So
Thank you.
But yeah, no, I'll let y'all know. And hey, thanks for calling in, guys, and for being here, Britt.
Yeah, for sure.
For being here with
us.
us.
Any other questions? Y'all got anything else for me?
Are you good, Britt?
Not right now, but if so, we will make sure to get those to you.
No worries. Yeah, they got my number here, so shoot me a text, give me a call. I'll come back on. I got to come back on because I got your watermelon crush and your strawberry lemonade, so I'll bring those back for you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marcos. We'll talk again soon, and Mario and Kim, I'll see you next week.
All right, y'all be safe.
Take care.
Okay. Adios.
Bye.
Bye.
I feel like this is kind of a long episode. Like I don't.
Yeah,
No,
we've sometimes they hit this long. I think the longest we've had was almost 2 hours.
Like I said, I'm a talker. So
No,
you're
we are
good.
too.
No.
We get into
Strawberry lemonade.
Oh shit! I
This
already
one,
drank it. I don't
know.
remember what it
I
tastes
don't
like.
remember what it tastes like either. But I remember it was good, so we can try it one more time and then we'll hit the last one. But yeah, no. Usually they're about anywhere between an hour 15 to an hour 30. But
Yeah, but we're good.
no, we're good. Let's see. 5. I like it. I'm a big fan of strawberry lemonade. I think I like this one better than the pink lemonade. I think. It just.
Yeah. So see, with the pink lemonade for me,
Yeah.
growing up how I grew up,
Yeah.
I was expecting pink lemonade Kool-Aid. I don't want like that sweetness.
I know what you're talking about.
I didn't get it. I got country time, which I'm okay with country time.
It's a little more like
Tart.
Tart, yes.
It's
yes,
more
yes,
tart
yes.
than sweet, right? So like I wasn't mad at it, but I was like, I would have liked sweeter.
Yeah,
so
sweeter.
yeah.
No, that was good.
No, I like that one. Like I said, badass artwork. So this one we passed up. This is I used to be a big mango guy, not so much anymore. But this is a mango sour with honey and vanilla. It's called Tiger Lily. Damn, 8% ABV for the little 12-ounce can. So cool artwork again, little hummingbird. It's so weird. I thought we had it, but I see so many cans, and I'm like,
Yeah. It's
So last year we did honeysuckle. We looked very similar.
that's the one.
Yes,
Yes.
that's
So
the
that one to me tasted like it tasted like Orange Julius, and I fucking love Orange Julius.
okay.
And
So
that was fucking awesome.
my wife is not a beer drinker, but she tasted sweet tea.
Oh,
And she loved it. And it's funny because my nephew's in the Air Force. Shout out, Ricky. He's in the Air Force, South Dakota. So I sent him a little care package. He grabbed one. He loved it. So I got lucky that I had an account that still had like two cases of it. And I grabbed both cases for him. And he was able to fit one into a bag and take it back with him. So he got to take it back and enjoy it. And he still got one case at his dad's house. And he was like, man, when are you bringing it back? And then I had to break his heart. And I was like, man.
This one's Orange Julius too, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, let's see.
Maybe.
Well, it's weird because it's mango.
I know it's Mango Julius.
The mango's like a little bit like a hint of mango, if that makes sense.
Because what was in the honeysuckle one again? It was definitely, it was
orange,
basically the same
lactose,
thing,
and
right?
something
But
else.
with
You got to stop asking me the hard question.
oh, sorry.
you're good.
Actually, you know what? I'll look it up because
No,
I
you're
have
good.
it here on the
I'm pretty
spreadsheet.
Sure
It was honey vanilla. Oh, I think it was orange honey vanilla. is what
Honey,
it was.
there you go. Honey.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what
this
it
one
was.
has honey too, but it is yeah. So see, this one I get like a hint of mango in it. So.
Oh, okay, I got it right here. So honeysuckle, it was a lactose sour with orange, honey, and vanilla. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
And
to
this one
me-
doesn't have lactose.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can kind of tell too.
Did it have lactose?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it did have lactose.
It did have lactose.
So this one, all right.
Damn lactose.
This one tastes like something to me. I don't know what that. It's reminding. It does kind of taste like Orange Julius, but with mango.
Yeah, like a hint of mango.
Yeah, with like a hint of
Yeah.
mango. Yeah.
Tropical Julius.
Yeah, like if they did. Yeah, like if they did that. Huh. Interesting. Okay. No, I like it.
Not me.
I give it a. Let's see. What do I give it? 4.5. 4.5 out of 5.
Okay.
I think you know what's weird. We always talk shit about the lactose. Like they were like, man, everything
What,
has
you're gonna
lactose.
say this needs
this
it?
one. This I feel like this one should have some lactose. Like
It
I
probably
think,
would have made it a little bit sweeter for sure.
yeah, or like giving it that texture. Like
Right, but that's the difference though, because you're thinking like when you're thinking mango, like when you're saying sweeter, you're thinking
Yeah.
almost like creamy mango,
Yeah,
like
okay.
almost like the raspados. Like
yeah.
you're thinking like that category, but it's not. It's just like a mango
right,
drink.
you're right,
so
you're right,
it's-
you're right, you're right.
You gotta compartmentalize it and
you're
put
right.
it to that piece. Like
It's not my favorite, but it's good.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna go with the 4.5 out of 5. Still good. I mean,
See,
I don't have a problem with it.
you say not your favorite, but if I paint into this scenario and you're out by the pool, right? You're sitting in the sun and you're like, yo, I'm trying to get hammered. And you got 8% mango vanilla sitting in your hand. It's an easy drink.
It doesn't have.
My scenario usually is, Marcos. It's can I drink the whole thing?
Oh, that's
One.
what we usually
And
say.
two,
That's what usually
would I go
Oh.
for another one?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
Okay.
That's our game.
That's usually
Okay,
my
so-
scale.
Well,
All right, so this is funny. So I'm going to share this with you. Okay, I've only shared this with like 4 other people. Okay?
Okay.
So when I ran the liquor store, I created a grading system, right? It's trademark pending, so don't fucking take
Okay,
it.
no.
Okay. So like, yeah, I'll say the 1 to 5 stars. So I
Yeah.
saw that, right? I
Okay.
respect it, right? So I
Okay.
used to say 1 to 5 star,
Uh-huh.
but I would say 1 to 6 brews. Okay. 1 to 6 brews, meaning would I drink 1 brew? Would I drink 6 brews?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So,
like it's 6
so
pack.
something might be a 5
Oh,
star,
I got you.
but it's only 2 brews. Not to say it's
Oh,
bad,
I get what you're
Yeah.
saying.
but
I
just
get
to
what
say
you're
I'd only
saying.
drink 2
How
of
many
them.
would I drink?
Yeah.
That's interesting. No, I mean,
We
definitely
kinda
not going
do
to
the
take it
same
because it
thing.
feels
It's like,
complicated to me.
Would
But
I reach for another?
yeah. No, I understand that.
but it's not though, because if you look at like Rotten Tomatoes, right? They have like the Rotten Tomatoes score, and they have like the people score, right? Like it's two different scores, right? So like there's one thing. So like one of the examples that I had is there was I'm trying to think here. Carbach used to do a barrel aged series, right? They don't do it anymore because they sold out, but they used to do a barrel aged series, right? And they had like a bourbon barrel aged cherry chocolate stout, right?
Okay.
Fucking phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
It was great. It was delicious. It was a 5-star. But there's only one brew.
Oh, I got you.
Because it was just so much cherry and chocolate. And I couldn't drink more than one or two. Like if I'm sitting out by the fire, if I'm hanging out with my boys, I'll drink one of them, but I'm not drinking more of that. And that's not to say it's a bad brew because it's a 5-star.
Yeah.
But they just say it's a one brew.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
And then you have other ones, you know, like for instance, you know, the peachy green tea, right?
Yeah.
So 5-star, right? 2 or 3 brews.
Yeah.
Not to say it's bad.
Yeah.
Just to say you would have 2.
That's pretty interesting. It's just, I think to me, the complicated part comes from I document everything. So I'm like, fuck, that's another category. Like, if I jacked you, I'm not going to jack you though. You know what I'm saying?
Don't do it.
But I'm not going to do it. Yeah. But like, it's just like, so what I do is like, I'll do 2 different things. So I'll do an average, a group average.
Yeah.
So I'll do the podcast average and that goes on the website. And then when I post the individual, when I post the cans or whatever, or the artwork on Instagram, I'll put what each of us rated it. So like, everybody can see that.
So like, for instance, 5-star, 6 brews.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I think that'll also too, like when you start looking at the stats and stuff, that you can start to correlate like where the ABVs come in. Like the lower the ABVs, the more brews you're gonna have, right?
I mean, you can see the size of me. I don't give a fuck about. Oh,
that's true.
I'm a value drinker. If I go to somewhere and I'm gonna drink, I'm literally looking for like what's the highest ABV that I'm okay with.
Dude, look at me. I gotta be careful.
Yeah, I respect it. Yeah.
I can only drink like 2 IPAs.
I'm like 2 of you. Yeah, like I totally get it. Yeah.
Well, here's true story. So I got into IPAs because of Deftones, the Deftones Belchy Beaver.
Everybody got into that.
So that's my favorite. Dude, I fucking love that beer. It tastes good to me. Yeah. I'm not even a Deftones fan, so I wasn't drinking it because it's Deftones. Yeah. So I'm drinking it, and the other this was like 3 months ago. 3 months ago, dude. Yeah. I had 4 in the fridge. I drank one. I'm like, I fucking love this beer, right? Drank another one. I'm like, I'm good. Mm-hmm. Drank 3. I'm good. Drank 4. Then it fucking hit me, and I'm like, I shouldn't have drank 4.
100%.
I should have drank 1.
See, that's like I tell the brew house. So like my favorite one, Last Girl Scout. So like I was actually outside. I was making a brisket. So I get down on the grill. Yeah. So I was making a brisket.
Okay. We're gonna go bite to the next barbecue.
100%. So I was making a brisket, right? And I told my bros, I was like, yo, this is my favorite beer. And I had bought a whole case, right? And so I was sitting there, right? So I drank 1. I drank 2. I drank 3.
It's like somebody else got to take over the grill now.
I drank 4, and then I passed out sitting on my kitchen table. Yeah. And my boy had it like, yo, there's flames outside, right? And he was like, how did you pass out? Like, bro, I'm drinking 12%. I drank 4 of these, in a matter of an hour. I drank 4 of these. Like, I'm not an alcoholic, but like I'm hammered. Like I can't function. Like I shouldn't be by fire. Like I need your help, you know? And so like the alcohol does take an effect. So like when I ran the liquor store, we had that little rating. And so like our regulars knew that, right? So they would come in like, hey man, like, oh, I see you guys got a 5. So we used to have like staff pick and 5-star, right? Okay. And so they would see it. I'm like, oh man, I see it's a 5-star. But how many brews is it, right? So we got people to know that was the system. I like it. And I was like, no, man, that's a 6+. Like, oh, hell yeah. So they'd grab a 12-pack, because they knew I can drink more than 6 of them, and that became an easy thing. Because, I mean, this is a 5-star. Yeah. But for you, it's a one brew.
Yeah, it'd probably be a 1.
Yeah. Just because realistically, you couldn't drink 2 of them.
Yeah. Well, maybe 2, but
I mean, you got a 1 story, so you know.
That's right.
You got
we used to live in an apartment 3 stories up, and I'm like, that was a different story. But no, I got you.
Yeah, so it's kind of the same concept. So like the ABV does come into play with it, but I mean, for me personally, I don't really look at it that way. I'm just like, yo, like, could I? Yeah, and I always like how I painted the scenario with you sitting by the pool. Like for me, I'm like, okay, cool. If I had this, and I'm sitting out by the fire, hanging with my boys, catching up, could I drink 6 of them? Yes. Probably, am I going to stumble around and possibly throw up? Yes. But would I drink 6 of them? Yes. Like that's it's that kind of thing. So it's
well, I'm gonna let you hold on to that. Like I said, I'm not gonna even try.
No worries.
But that was fun to think about and talk about.
Yeah, it's a good concept.
Well, I think that was all the beers. And I appreciate you coming out and bringing this stuff and talking to us about, whatever you knew about the brewery that you could, because it was fucking interesting as hell.
We always have a running thing where we're like, we have our Martin House, what'd you call it? A minute?
Martin House minute, yeah.
And we're like, not sponsored.
Oh yeah, we always say
but
not
maybe
sponsored.
we're on our way.
Yeah.
Kind of, but
It's
not
just-
really.
It was funny as hell. But no,
I can't tell you how many things I have unofficially sponsored on stuff like that. Like
There you go.
a buddy might hit me up. He's like, hey,
Unofficial.
yeah, he was like, I'm on a baseball team. Can you sponsor me? Like, I don't know, what you want beer? He's like, yeah, man, I got like a couple
put a
cases.
sticker on his back.
Yeah.
Okay, we're unofficially sponsored for this
Yeah,
episode.
I threw cases to him, and he was like, "What is it?" I'm like, I don't fucking. You just asked me for
yeah.
beer.
Just
Like,
ask for beer.
yeah, I fucked around.
Either
with
you
them.
like it or you don't.
I sent them a case of this, and
He's like, I'm never asking him again.
that was the last time that he asked me. I sent him the Cherry Jubilee at 12%, and he was like, "You can't drink this playing softball." Like, bro, you didn't tell me nothing.
Right.
You just,
Yeah, no,
you
one
said you
and-
wanted beer. I sent you beer.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Beggars can't be choosers.
All right, so before we let you go, I just want to say, is there any upcoming events that you have that you want to probably plug?
There's a ton of them.
go for it.
So,
Plug whatever you
so
want.
be on the lookout for social media. So, like I said, I handle the market down here. So, I have a pint night, July 21st at Wild Barley. Wild Barley. Was it? I'm trying to think of it. Wild Barley over off of Broadway.
Is that 12%? No,
Yeah,
I'm just
it probably was. Yeah, so Wild Barley off of Broadway, I have a pint night over there. I'll be doing Screaming Goat out in Spring Branch on the 28th, I believe. So pint night out there. They got a cool little, they got good food, bomb ass fucking pretzels. They usually try to carry 2 or 3 of us on tap, along with some cans. So I'll be out there. If you come out, I usually have some swag, glasses, stickers, whatnot. If you ever see my gray backpack, I usually have some cool shit like this in it. So the real fans know about it. They'll see the gray backpack, like, hey, what you got in? I'm like, I got you, man. So I have those two, and then I will be doing some tasting. So we do have, I guess I'll talk about it now, but we actually do have a variety pickle pack coming out.
shit.
So
Cool.
yeah, there you go, breaking news. I don't know how many people are gonna hear it, but
Will that mustard one be in there?
no.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
No, it's
I mean, that's-
so I'll tell you what it is. So we're gonna have spicy pickle coming out, which
Okay,
is a
we've
fan
had-
favorite.
yeah.
Yeah. Bloody Mary, which
We've
is a
had
fan
that
favorite
one.
2
That
years
was
ago, and then 2 previously unreleased, which are gonna be bread and butter, and then chamoy. So we're finally getting chamoy pickle. So
Shit.
nice.
yeah, so
Okay, wow.
since I joined the company back in December 2020, I've been yelling for like, yo, we need chamoy pickle.
Yeah,
Like we have to have it. We're finally getting it in a variety pack. So I'll be doing a couple tastings at HEB. I think I have one set up for the one up HEB 26 out in Shirts. I have one set up for HEB New Braunfels 3 over in Creekside, and then I have another one set up for HEB, if not almost, in Austin Highway. So
okay.
most of those are kind of my territory, my bigger ones. And I'll probably do something with HEB City Base as well at some point in time. So
Cool.
yeah, be on the lookout. Come through, grab some stickers, come talk. Tell me your favorite beer. Tell me your worst favorite beer. Tell me the one that switched you off of it or what put you on a Martin House. Like I said, for me, the Martin House was I tried Salty Lady, I tried Michelada, that got me into it. And then, all-time favorite was, the Thin Mint Stout. So, yeah, come on through, check it out, and be on the lookout.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, like I said, thank you again for coming and bringing all this stuff for us to try together. Also, too, I'll put all the social media stuff that you want on the show description, so like that people can just, while they're listening, they could just go to the social media sites, whatever you want. So I'll get that from you before you leave. And all right, guys. So we're kind of doing it out of order. This is episode 70. And it was our Martin House topic. Next week, we're going to... Oh, actually, you didn't know, so I'm just going to say it just to see what you think. But next episode is going to be episode 69, and we're going to be... and our music topic is going to be dirty songs.
Damn.
Episode 69. So we're going to get into some dirty songs and then talk about what they're talking about and the story behind them. That's what we do. Talk about the history of the songs and the bands.
Dang, Mickey Avalon, my dick. That's it. That's mine right there. Like,
There you go. And then I'll have you email us the story behind that, and then we'll talk about it on the show.
I'm going to come back.
All right. No, yeah, you can come back if you want. Hell. All right. Yeah. So next episode, guys, is going to be episode 69, a little out of order, but I wanted to have the topics in order. I didn't want anything to get screwed up. But yeah, so we'll see you guys next week, and y'all take care. Cheers.
Cheers.